What's you seen all? Yo, we are the Soca Analyst. And yo, today, I am so incredibly excited to big up my brother, my Guyanese brother, Mr. Adrian Dutchin. Adrian, how you doing, bro?
I am great. I am blessed. And we can pull up today, man. We can pull up.
You hear that? So, you know, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to be talking about a lot about like Guyana, Guyanese culture, the state of music, Adrian's experiences as an artist, his new releases, which is going to be very, very exciting. A little bit about, you know, his tour in life, what's been going on. So, you know, obviously this is for everybody to listen to, but I really wanted to do this one, you know, for my Guyanese posse because, you know, there's a lot of things that, you know, we got to talk about. There's a lot of things, you know, culturally that we need to hear as people. So I'm really excited to get into it. So let we pull up.
The Soca Analyst. Caribbean culture to the world.
Yes. So Adrian, we gotta start with a cheers, bro. A little thing.
Shit.
Knock a little thing, bro.
A little thing. Vibes.
Yo, so I gotta tell you a funny story. One of my favorite things when I just started drinking, it was my uncle that lives on the block, right? I remember he gave me my first drink of El Dorado. I never had it before. So I was drinking, you know, back in college, and everybody wanted to drink like Henny or Johnny, and he's like, yo, you ever had this before? And he slammed a bottle of El Dorado down, bam. And then his catchphrase was, "Come take little thing, man." And I was like, yo, it's like, anytime I go to take a drink with my friends, I'm like, hey, come take a little thing, man.
Come take a little thing.
And I think that's like a really beautiful thing, right? Just about like Guyanese culture in general, bro. That like warmth and that hospitality when you having a nice lime, there's nothing really like it, man. Like I think about best memories of when I went to Guyana, and I'm like, for me, it was always just being in the yard or being in the bottom house and just you have your music, your drinks, and it's just gaff and laughing and having everything, bro.
Good old Guyanese time, right? You know, me with family, friends, and that is Guyana for you. That is Guyana for you. And me living in America, those are the things I miss. Like those are the things I miss. You in a hammock, bottom house, chickens running, your neighbor playing this, somebody at the fence asking you something. It's like, wherever you from in the world, I think you always own a piece of something that you would take wherever you go, you know? And ever so often, there's something that would just bring you back to that feel, you know? And hey, I gotta say, man, Guyana, a beautiful place, man. Beautiful and blessed place. And it's getting even better. But before we even start all of that, hey, let me pull up, you know what I mean? Let me pull up. I'm happy to be here. I'm very excited to be here. And you would not believe me, but this is my first podcast I'm ever doing.
Ever.
I've really never done a podcast before. You know, Rich, I must say respect to you and big up to the entire team that has been doing this because people don't realize the amount of work and effort that you put into this. And man, I've seen it. And if it's one thing I would say about you is that you're about quality, putting out something that people will respect and people will say yes. And man, big ups to you, hats off to you, and amazing job.
Oh, thank you so much, bro. It means the world to hear that, man. And yeah, I mean, it's like I said, you know, I was at the few times that I got to see you, I was like, you know, I once was, I think, back in Guyana Carnival 2019. Might have been the first time. I may have seen you before that. Yeah. But that was actually the first time in a long time. I think the last time I went to Guyana before 2019, I was maybe like 10 or 11. So it was probably like early 2000s, bro.
Yeah, a lot of people keep reminding me how old I am, man. Like,
you're not old, trust me. You still don't look a day over 30,
a lot
bro.
of people keep telling me, I've seen you when I was small. I'm like, oh my God. But, you know, it's a blessing to... I always tell Terry Godraj, like, even onto this weekend, myself and Terry Godraj, as fate would have it, myself and Terry are like doing so many shows together. And I don't know, but I'm a firm believer in God. But it so happens we tend to butt up and we do the same shows. And people would be like, yo, you and Terry really need to go on tour together. You guys work so well together, right? And I was telling Terry this, we had a show in Minnesota. I said, Terry, people would believe we planned this thing. we myself and Terry Godraj have never rehearsed a day in our life together. We've never planned a set, but how we do it, it certainly seems like a set.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe the universe is speaking to us here, bro. And it would be an absolute honor for me to go on tour with Terry. Me and Terry do a tour. Man, would that be something for my legacy? I mean, Terry has a legacy by his own, but I would love that, man. I would love that.
Bro, that would absolutely mash up. And you know, I think there is something really iconic in that, right? To have two people that are thought leaders in pushing Guyanese culture, Guyanese music, not just making music, but as an art. You know what I mean? And I think if I there's no two people I think better that deserve the title to do that than you and him together.
I mean, I thank you for it, but I mean, truth be told, a lot of people tell me that I really need to start tooting my own horn, but I was never a person like that. For me, it seems like it's such a long road to go. Um, I wish that Guyanese artists and the whole entertainment industry in Guyana, I wish I could have sat here and be all like, yo, it's a great industry and it's a beautiful thing to get into and whatnot, but it is not. It is. I even look back and say to myself, how did I do it? How did I survive this industry? The industry in Guyana is diabolical, man. It is. If you don't have a name really, it don't even matter if you have a name or not these days. Like I don't know. I think that's the thing with me. Is like I'm totally like a lot of young artists would reach out to me and say, "How can we get this done? How can?" And I feel terrible because I don't know what to tell them because I'm like, I honestly don't know, man. Things have changed so much. When I was coming up, people like yeah, super sad. Rest may soul rest in peace and stuff like that. From DDL, the people that does the 5-year old and the 15-year old El Dorado, gave me a chance to get out there with sponsorship and stuff like that. Now is very little people that are gonna be reaching out to you and giving you say, look, I'll sponsor your video, I'll do this, I don't know what to tell the youngsters coming up. So a lot of them, they're deterred from the industry. They're like, man, we're not gonna get help. So why do we do it in any way? If a guy like Adrian could tell us, I don't know, what am I gonna do? And his name is known in Guyana. So it's a pretty tough industry, man. Pretty tough. And unless you have a lot of money to like really put into yourself, you may have the talent because there's people that have a lot of good music in Guyana, but they don't have the ways, they don't have the medium to get it out there, and that's just sad, man.
Yeah, that's something that I've heard a lot, man. Like, believe it or not, I've heard that from a couple other like fellow, you know, like specifically like Guyanese, not just Guyanese musicians, but also like just Guyanese soca artists as well, like artists that want to venture specifically into soca. And it's sad because you know, like I see, and that's not to say that you know some of the artists in some of the other islands aren't facing the same challenges. There's a couple people that I speak to in Trinidad where it's like they find the younger artists, you know, now like really young who are like trying to just now get in, are like facing a challenge that they haven't. Not that I wouldn't say that didn't really exist before, but it's just I feel like back in the days, you know, when I talked to some of the older people in the industry, there was a kind of like a culture of mentorship, right? Like, all right, if I'm an artist and I see young talent, there was camps set up where you could come and you could practice and you could and you would get your first maybe an opening on a show or something. You know what I mean?
And you know that's what I give. I honestly give Barbados props for that. The reason why I give Barbados props for that, I was signed to Krosfyah for 3 years in Barbados, and there's something called cavalcades and tents and whatnot, where the younger artists would have an opportunity to open for the older artists that have been in the business for a while. And if people did not know you, they had a chance right there. You may come to see Edwin Yearwood, but there was this little dude or this girl that performed before Edwin and opened for him. It's really good. Let's give that person a chance. And to me, that's all is needed to know, a chance. In Guyana, there's nothing like that. They are shows, and even if they are around our Mashramani, our carnivals, they are shows that have the big name, the big acts. But like I swear to you, and the thing that I'm loving right now about this podcast, there's no cap. Nobody lying. I'm just being honest. When the younger artist goes on, there's nobody paying attention to them. There's not even nobody there. And I find that to be so sad because I've spoken to some artists that they're like, man, you could imagine I'm singing and there's people there, but they just ain't give me a chance. No mind, they're doing whatever. And as soon as this artist come up, they just flood the stage. And what is hurtful about it is that I had to borrow money to buy this costume, this dancer, this, just to make it look that the presentation is on par. And not even yeah. I'm like, man, it's and I see the hurt in their eyes and the way they feel and stuff like that. Going through stuff like that would never encourage you to be a part of the industry.
Yeah.
Never. And then I remember one girl telling me, she's like, my actual outfit was over like $500 just to perform for 10 minutes. Nobody paid attention. They did nothing. And here's this girl. Yes, she have a big song or whatever. She came on with a regular jeans and a top. Like, and everybody went wild. I'm like, that's just the reality of it. Eh? It's sad, but it is what it is. And I think a lot of older artists and stuff like that, when you have the chance to be on a podcast, on a television show, whatever, you need to just tell the truth. It is a hard industry. It is an industry with people that would throw you under the bus to get the next interview, to get the next. It's not nothing pretty. You would have friends that would literally call a promoter and say, I would take $500 less to do this show. Think about this. You have to fly this guy in. I would drive and call. It's the industry. And I've heard this. This is not nothing I'm just saying. I have heard promoters call an artist, friends of mine that I've helped that spoke so bad about, no, man, Adrian is not gonna come for this money and this and then I'm like, what? I'm shocked. But certain promoters do stuff like that to show you that, bro, there's no friends in this industry. It is what it is, man. So youngsters coming up, I am not going to sugarcoat nothing for you. It is hard as hell. It is a cutthroat industry and you basically don't have no friends. It's, as we say in Guyana, it's fight for self. My best advice for you, mind your business, stick to yourself, and fight for yourself. You get to the top as much as you could by yourself. It's hard to beg people for sponsorship. It's hard to beg DJs to play a song. It's hard to get people. You know what happened to me? So my last video that I did off of Monk Records, big up to everybody, Monk Records, Marshall, the entire crew are fantastic people, you know. Big up to Cordell Productions. Cordell did the video. So I'm speaking with the girl that is doing the video with me, right? Everything is good. I had a vibe that she was moving like the regular model, and I was kind of concerned, kind of not. As we say, hard is. Cordell's like, Adrian, she's giving me a funny vibe, man. Let me get another model. But for some reason, I wanted to give her a shot because she seems so cool. Like, I'd say 3 hours before the video, I'm messaging her, no reply, nothing. I'm like, oh my God, she's going to do this to me now. I've booked the venue, I've everything. Cordell was like, Adrian, she's not coming. I'm like, man, you sure? I'm still going to try. I'm trying because I'm a guy, I try my best to go to the last end because you never know. She stopped replying. So I did the video by myself because I already paid the place. I already paid the cameraman. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the damn video by myself. Comes out good. And there, the video, I'm by myself. The amount of people was like, yo, the video is dope. The visualizer is dope, but you needed a girl. I'm like, she didn't show up, but I'm not going to hold it back because of her. And that's just the reality of it. People sometimes show, sometimes they don't show. So artists, make use of every single moment you have, man. Make use of it. Don't take nothing in this business for granted. Nothing. An interview, a podcast, a video shoot. If you have an opportunity to be a cameo in somebody thing, listen, take nothing for granted because you just never know, huh? You never know.
Yeah, man. No, I think that's a really, really great perspective to have on it. I find like, what it is too. A lot of stuff has shifted where, and it's not just for artists, but I find especially for music where it's almost like it has less to do with your talent as a musician now, which is sad, and it has more so to do with like your brand and your following and your image on social.
Man,
you know what I mean?
It's a
and it's been trending and shifting like that for a long time, but to see it with like specifically with with Caribbean artists is really something because like I find especially like when it comes to Guyana, there's already such a lack of resources.
Okay, it's a lack of a lot of things with Guyana. Yeah. I mean, let's be real. Let's be. If I go down right now as being the truth teller of it for Guyana on this podcast, so be it. It's hard in Guyana. Like Guyana, nobody's giving you sponsorship. The sponsorship that I have gotten is basically because of people that I have known for a very long time. My boy Simeon from Fireside, I would say that guy has always been a person to give me something. Say, Adrian, I got you. This. The government of Guyana, they are just loving entertainment. I'm an ambassador of One Guyana, so I'm very happy about that. You know what I mean? So they would push and stuff like that. But a lot of other people that, man, listen, I don't think, I could be wrong, don't quote me on this. I don't think there's a person in Guyana that has done every venue like I have done. I've been doing this since I was 14 years old. I'm 42 years old now. I'm going to be 43 this year. I've done it all. And I mean, I think I've earned a little respect. Like if I know you and I send you a WhatsApp message, you read it. Oh my God, you're going to take like 2 months to get back to me and say, oh, now I see the message. Dude, I saw you read the message. Like the respect and stuff like that is not there. It's not there. And I'm thinking, I've been in this thing for a while. If they're doing me this, oh my gosh, the younger artists must be crying. Like, it's hard, man. I've been in situations where I've seen people just finish doing an interview, and DJs personally delete songs from their computers. I'm not gonna play that anymore. Damn, it's diabolical, man. It's diabolical. In the days of CDs, I have personally seen people's CDs got thrown in the bin. I don't know if mine did. Well, they didn't do it when I was there, but probably did. I don't know. But man, Guyana music industry is tough, man. It is tough. And back in my days, it was tough, but I think it's gotten worse now, man. Like really worse. I mean, a Vibes Cartel, any music from anywhere would be pushed to the forefront instead of Guyanese music. That's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. Huh? There's some DJs that would fight and do it, and then, but they're not big enough to cause a splash. The ones that are big enough to cause a splash, because they know they cause a splash, they don't really care. They don't really care. It's like sometimes when I go to a show and people say, yo, Adrian is the closing act or whatever. I tell them, look, yo, wait. It's you paid me to come here. Whatever you want. If you want me to open, I open. If you want me to close, I close. Let's just see how many people on the show. 6 people on the show. Let's talk. See what because they might be somebody there. Man, I would love to close. I would love to. At this age, bro. It don't matter to me anymore. Like I would open your show, close your show. You want me in the middle, wherever, because I'm gonna give you a show regardless. It don't matter to me. When the show, if they want me to close and they have 10 people in there, I'm gonna perform. It don't matter. It just don't matter to me anymore. That's how I get now. Like personally, I feel like, man, it is what it is. If I message you and I say, can you do this for me? And you read the message and you don't get back to me, okay. Life goes on. It is what it is. I just get this donkey attitude because, man, I'm sorry. I'm just tired. So I just do whatever I do, man. I'm just tired. I'm not going to let certain things hold me back. If this person don't play your music, if this person don't do this, you can't let it hold you back. You just got to keep doing what you do. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. So the best advice I give to people in Guyana, that's why I say Guyana, is because that's where I'm from, and that's where a lot of artists really are trying to get themselves up. You just gotta keep. If you really love it, you just gotta keep doing it. There are gonna be a lot of failures, There're gonna be a lot of people pulling you down. But for your love of it, just keep doing what you're doing, man. And just know to yourself, there's no friends in this business, man. There's no friends in this business, man. And with that, I'll take a shout out.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, I gotta take a drink to that too. Shit.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you have encountered these type of talks all over.
But I think when it comes to Guyana, for me, it's it's such like a sore spot for me personally, because I know that we are a country with like limitless potential, bro. Like there's so many things that I wish that I want for Guyana and musicians and people in the country in general to have, right? And for me, I didn't grow up in Guyana. I was born here. And growing up, it's like I would ask my parents all the time, like, where are we from? Like why are we here? What are you just things that kids will ask, growing up in America. And my parents were always so like reluctant to kind of talk about where they were from, and they would always tell me, we would come from this country, Guyana, and we had to leave because things were so bad, and they just left it at that.
Bro, listen.
And I grew up just being starved of not knowing.
I kid you not. When I saw your level of work and you told me that you have Guyanese roots, you're associated with Guyana, I was blown away, bro. I was blown away. I was like, if you could remember me asking you, like, for real? Because it's like, man, listen, a DJ cursed me out from Hot 97. He said, bro, you killing and you advocating for me to play your music and do this and do that. There's so many people from Guyana that work at Hot 97 that don't even give a damn about Guyanese people. And bro, it shut me down. Yeah. I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah, bro. I'm like, what? He said, let me tell you how bad it is. There's people from Guyana that are a part of Hot 97 program directing that don't even mention they're from Guyana because they don't want people to know they're from Guyana. You know why? Because they personally think Guyanese people are crabs in a barrel. Guyanese entertainment and music is shit, and we're not going to push it. And you know what? I had to shut my mouth because I was blown away. So if your own people are in there and they don't even want, man, I was on a set one time and one of the persons they had something to do with BET. The guy said to me, she's Guyanese, right? I was like, she is? He's like, bro, yeah. I was even scared to talk to the woman, man, because I'm like, what? Man, you do know the police commissioner of New York is Guyanese. The woman, the deputy commissioner like
one of the biggest celebrities, bad Gallery, bro, half Guyanese. Like people forget that all the time. Like
St. John. The
Like-
man is yo, I don't even want it to.
it's so that's the funny thing, right? Is because it's not
Man.
that Guyanese people aren't in places. It's that I find we as a people as a whole don't really truly embrace being Guyanese. And I think part of that is, unlike Trini people and stuff like that, and some of the other Caribbean islands and countries, I think for us, man, like because of the way that our history was different, that we don't 100% know what it really means to be Guyanese. And then when we have people that try to create, because that's one of the biggest and most beautiful things you can do for our culture, like someone like yourself, create music, create art. We don't embrace it. You know?
You know what? We take our creatives for granted. We don't appreciate it until somebody else appreciates it. So one of the biggest thing I've ever seen from a Guyanese perspective, Guyanese entertainment. So this one, I was in a barbershop and I heard this reggae song playing. And I'm like, this guy is good. And I'm listening and I'm thinking. And the guy that cut in my hair is like, yo, you know this guy is Guyanese. And I'm like, yeah, I could swear he's Jamaican. Wow. Natural black. Had to go to Jamaica, make it in Jamaica. Before, and I always say this, I honestly think it's just because people found out he was Guyanese, made everything crumble for him. When people thought he was Jamaican, everything was going for him. As soon as people find out he was Guyanese, it's like if our own people just like they were mad. This man is Guyanese and he's getting this big, but I pull this guy down. It was just terrible. And that make a lot of people are so scared, like, oh my God, really? Bro, before Rihanna became Rihanna's uncle is a Guyanese. There's a rhythm called the sarsaparilla rhythm that we did TikTok. And she started tick-tock, tick, hey, Mr. DJ. Rihanna's uncle. We were all in the studio and he was like, yo, so I have a niece, it's coming out. She's going to be huge. And he played stuff for us and everything. He's like, wow. So we knew before, didn't even know it. And Barbados and everything, big Rihanna, blah, blah, blah. And you know that how they always leave out that her mom is Guyanese?
Always.
Always, bro. Like, and I'm like, it's sad, man. It's sad. Here's what it is, man. It is what it is.
And you know the crazy thing is that it's like, as you said, I feel like back in the days, bro, like early 2000s, 90s, I used to hear more Guyanese music. Like
You
that,
think so?
yeah, because like that same exact song that you bring, I remember being a kid hearing, like, especially here in New York.
That was an error. That
Bro.
was a wicked error, right?
It really was. And the people, clubs used to play it, DJs used to play it. I feel like as a kid growing up, I used to hear songs like that all the time here.
But you know what
I
happened?
mean?
You know what happened? I didn't even know what I did when I sat down and wrote that song.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what I did when I wrote I'm a Guyanese. I didn't like the song at all. I didn't like it. The producer guy asked me if I was crazy. There's a guy that sings named Kapashanti. I sent it to him. He's like, bro, do you understand what you're doing here? I'm like, bro, I hate this song, bro. He's like, this song is going to be your biggest song. I'm like, nah. And today, I'm a Guyanese have given me the most amount of money, the most amount of shows. And for some reason, that song is like a staple. But there's this song in when I was younger coming up called March in Guyana, people going crazy. And I remember being in school, in primary school and saying, yo, I would love to do a song like this, man. Lo and behold, I think I have a song like that. I'm a Guyanese. And words have more than power, the things you say. Man, Guyanese people, if we would not take our creatives we would just say, let's take these people for granted. Let's treasure them. Let's do stuff for them because we just never know. I think a lot of stuff in entertainment would be so much better. And that's the reason why you can't hate on Jamaica. You can't hate on Trinidad. You can't hate on Barbados because they never took their creatives for granted. Jamaica worshipped Bob Marley. All the artists, Trinidad, Marshalls, this, that, Sparrow, this. People, Barbados, Edwin Yearwood, Griner, this. You gotta give them props because they support their people. If you don't support your people in Guyana, if you don't do this, people gotta beg you for sponsorship. People gotta beg you for the video to play. DJs would literally see an artist in a venue and not even say, "Oh, let me just play the guy tune for big him up." Nothing. Just don't care. Nobody just don't care. So how are we gonna get anything happening? Nothing is gonna happen. And I mean, I'm sad to say this. I don't think anything is gonna change in my lifetime. I'm just being honest because I have spoken to artists in Guyana that are way older than I am, and they were advocating for the same stuff. And I know to myself, they're gonna die and nothing is gonna change. I am gonna die and nothing is gonna change. I guess it is what it is, man. It's sad, but I guess it is what it is.
There's like one of the things that I was curious about too is like, do you find that one of the reasons that it's I know there's a lot of reasons why things are the way they are, but one of the things that I was always interested in talking to people about is like festival and how that ties into music, right? So I know, for example, like Trinidad Carnival, really rich cultural legacy, right?
Amazing.
Going back, you know what I mean?
Amazing legacy,
and
bro.
their music is tied to this festival, right?
Yeah.
And I think about that with Barbados too, like Crop Over and a lot of the small islands too that are only now getting their
anything to do with
thing.
carnival and music and entertainment, it ties into it because the amount of revenue, the amount of the amount of traffic that goes into the country, you get an opportunity for your music to get out there and for people to take it whatever, right? So you would think that in Guyana it would be the same thing and to to add injury to insult. So we had this thing called Mashramani, this little thing, right? That for mash. For some reason, I probably think I'm one of the artists that really capitalized on Mashramani because I have won so many Soca Monarch and Road March and stuff like that. And I think because of that, my name got synonymous among Guyanese people. But you would think that they would embody that festival and say, okay, let's do this for the Guyanese culture. Man, oh my God. Mash, you would hear music from Barbados, Trinidad, Grenada, every place else except in Guyana.
That is crazy to me, bro. Because like when you go to the other islands like Dominica or Grenada, and you know, like yes, you will hear music from all, but bro, I realize at the end of the day, they make music for their. St. Lucia's a perfect example. They make music for their own, and they don't give a fuck what nobody else
care
think,
what
bro.
Nobody
if someone from Trinidad come,
listen.
if someone from Trinidad come and they go to their festival. Right, especially Vinci too. They're like, yo, if you don't like it, don't be here.
Man,
you know
because
I mean?
you know why? That music is made for that time and the people and stuff like that. Yeah. So they give it the time. They give it the space, the energy. In Guyana, like, and I hear so many people complaining about it, but they're not doing anything about it. You hearing 2023, 2022 in Guyana, Mashramani. You hearing songs from Trinidad that was released in 1996. You hear, and I'm like, oh my God, man. And it's so sad. And then to add injury to insult, we now have Mashramani. We have Guyana Carnival. We have Cricket Carnival. We have so many things that could make our music big, and we don't capitalize on it.
Yeah.
It's sad, man. Like
I always said to myself, I mean, and I can never speak it as fact because again, I don't live in Guyana, I don't know. But I always said when I looked at Trinidad and the other island stuff, I'm like, there is a governmental and there's both a public and a private sector, and they both I find invest in music and culture. Like Angostura sponsors so many things. Digicel sponsors KFC, you know what I mean? These big brands go and they sponsor. And when I went for Guyana Carnival in 2019, it's not that I didn't see brands. I did. I wouldn't have any idea how it all works. But you know, I saw El Dorado in a couple places and stuff like that. But I always think to myself, I'm just like, man, like I always wondered, like, do brands that we have in Guyana like invest in culture? Because if we did, we could do a lot of things.
They could do so. And you know, it comes with belief, man. It comes with belief. Like, it shows me clearly, like they don't believe in the artist and they don't believe in the creative. And what's sad is, like, the artists first used to hear, oh, their music is shit. They don't do their music don't sound like this, don't sound like that. Oh, their video is shit. It don't look like this, it don't look like that. I must give the Guyana music fraternity, the Chutney artists and everybody, the dancehall and everybody, for having a tremendous upgrade when it comes to their music and their video. Because Vicardi, Tony Cuts, Terry Godrod, these men are doing fantastic work, man. Like, bro, 2023, Vicardi, Tony Cuts, they mash up the market with their chutney tunes, bro. Nobody can say nothing about that. And a lot of people didn't even know they were from Guyana. People were like, yo, these Trinidadian. And I'm like, nah, the dude's from Guyana. It's like, you serious, bro? They stuff, look, they upgraded. So there's no back alley. There's no excuse for you to say their music ain't good enough. Their videos ain't good enough. It's there. All you have to do is play the thing, man. And that's a problem. I give up, man. I don't know what more. I don't know what more. It's, oh, this person don't recognize you. This, that. It's always something. And to me, even if you do it, it's something else. Oh, they're not even with this label. They're not. Listen, to me, I'm signed to the biggest distribution. I'm signed to Monk Distributions. I'm signed to the King, Marshall Montano of soca music. What else am I gonna hear? Like, it's always something. So I'm of the I just came to the final decision that, man, it's always going to be something, and these people just don't care. So I just don't care. You play my music, you don't. I just got this don't care attitude now, like, because it's like I'm tired fighting. Reaching out to this DJ, could you do this for me? Could you do that for me? It shouldn't be like that, man. Like, if somebody thing is good, just give it a push. If it's not good, reach out to them. I think you could do this, that. Okay, fine. This man is working with me. Let's work to get something that is, you know. But man, it's
Well,
not
when
an
it comes
easy road.
when it comes to, I find specifically like Guyanese music, right? So yeah, it's important to make distinction, because we have different genres in Guyana. We have soca, we have chutney, we have dancehall, and we have other genres as well. You know what I mean? Worship, like there's so many other things going into it.
Yeah,
I find now, like, you know, like chutney music, especially like here, obviously in New York, where second biggest, it might either be. I think it might be the first. I don't know. I heard some. I had to look up the actual
I
statistics.
think in Queens, chutney is like the biggest thing.
Oh no,
in
no.
Queens.
And
Yeah.
for the people here, but in terms of like population size, I heard somebody say, and I don't know, I have to look it up, that there might be now more Guyanese people in New York than in actual Guyana. And I'm saying like both Queens,
Wow,
Brooklyn.
that is crazy.
Which is, if that is a true stat, that's pretty wild.
And
I heard it somewhere though, like at a museum or something like that. I don't remember what it was. But like, it's crazy because like Guyanese chutney music has exploded. Like, there's so much embrace for it here in New York, right? And it's so interesting because I would actually make the argument right now that like Guyanese chutney music is arguably bigger right now than Trinidadian chutney music.
I don't even want to get into that.
Like,
I don't want nobody to pelt me when they see me.
No, I mean, I could say that. But in
But-
terms of here, like in New York,
I would say-
I see it a lot more.
I would say,
Yeah.
like I said, the upgrade is massive.
Yeah.
I commend guys like Vicardi, Tony Cuts, Fiona Singh, well, of course, Terry God Raj,
Yep.
all of them, man. I Bunty Singh, I applaud them. The chutney industry in Guyana has gone through a fantastic transformation, man.
Because I think about it and I'm like, all the new chutney artists that I know of, it's all Guyanese names, or it's all young, talented.
And it's a beautiful thing. I'm happy that they're doing it.
I'm grateful to see it, man, honestly.
But you know, but it's and then it this is such a touchy and thin line. But like I said, I don't care. It comes back to another thing. Like, I have been asked so many times by artists and people, why is it that corporate Guyana invests more in chutney than soca? I don't know. But, you know, at the end of the day, to me, it's all about business. It's all about finances. If you see people like have big chutney songs that are playing in Trinidad, that's the mecca of soca and chutney music, it's only human-like and only sensible to back that artist, to be a part of whatever they're doing, because that's what's hot. That's what's happening. It's more likely for Vicardi or Tony Cuts to go on stage with Rick and win the Chutney Monarch in Trinidad with a brand, something saying sings from Guyana, whatever. You get more mileage. It's only sense. If you guys would have done that for a soca artist, pumped the money into them, do this to them, and got them to that level, then we could have think, but you don't. So I don't think you should even frown your face or whatever at chutney. Chutney in Guyana is booming. It is what it is. And I'm so happy that I have songs with these guys because it's just my way of saying this is great marketing for me. And thank God these guys are like, man, we have listened to your song since we was this in primary school, and this, it's an honor to do a tune with you. And we do our thing, and we love doing it, and it's out there. We're having fun with it on shows I'm doing. I was so surprised. I was in Minnesota doing a show, and the lady came up to me, could you do Friends? You, Vicardi, Tony, and Terry. And I was like, yeah, people know it. I'm happy. But man, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if in my lifetime, your lifetime, if we're going to see more creatives having a easier time. I don't know. But for now, nah, man.
I don't think it's going to be easier in the way that we know it. I truly believe what's going to happen, and it's because I'm kind of seeing it now with a lot of the younger soca artists that I've spoken to. We recently did something with Classic Fresco Bar, Jamaican soca artists, right? Same, going through like a lot of the same struggles, and he's told me, the conventional ways of doing things just don't work.
Don't work anymore. It don't work anymore.
He's going 100% in on his own brand. He said he's doing social media 100%.
Social media, yeah, that's
100%. Like he's doubling down. You know.
But you know what? It's very easy right now to put out your own TikTok, your own visualizer, and get known and stuff, and release your music through TuneCore and CD Baby and whatever, and make a little money and pump that money back into something, right? It's much more easier for you as an artist, and it helps you. And I could tell you this because I can't believe I was so ignorant towards this, that a lot of people right now are just saving up their money, and they're doing Facebook promotion, YouTube promotions. The guy was like, bro, you do know these people from these big record labels have millions of dollars in marketing. They buy views, they buy comments. I'm like, really? He's like, bro, where have you been living? I'm like, really? He's like, bro, they buy the views, buy the comments. They get their stuff up themselves because people are not doing it, so they just do it. The labels have money aside to do these things. But I'm like, Yeah, but a simple small person that's now getting into soca or thing, that's a lot of money to pump into some views and something. It's like, bro, it, I've known artists that put aside $100 a week. They pay how much money for some views, for some comments, some likes, and people don't care anymore if it's organic or not. Because face it, these days somebody just go on your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever. They don't even check to see. Oh, this person have 200,000 followers on this. I'm gonna follow this person. This I'm gonna. That's how it goes. I mean, I wouldn't call the song, but there's a song that got so popular last 2 years. When the guy told me the marketing behind it, I said, "You serious?" He said, "Bro, I honestly swear this song wouldn't have gotten popular, but I spent some money on views and whatnot, and lo and behold, people just went and they're like, yo, this song got 500,000 views. Okay. And people just start, everybody like to rally behind something that's rising, something that's good. They want to jump on the gravy train. And you got to be a fool if you're going to try to be the one to be a saint and not do this and not do that. You're going to be left behind. I'm sorry, but good guys always finish last. Fight for yourself. Get into the know, get into this, get into that. I know people that didn't like TikTok, whatever. Bro, get to TikTok. You may have 1,000 people on TikTok and you might do something and it may go viral. You will have and I've seen this so many times. People have 1,000 followers or something on TikTok and do some craziness. And you wake up in the morning and you're a star overnight. They're like, how? What? What? That's just how it is, man. So I don't think you should take anything for granted. Get your TikToks, your this, your that, you do. You just keep doing it. You just never know.
Yeah, that's honestly, at least for right now, how I see the younger artists having to do things, which is like building some type of brand or personality on social media and then pushing their music through that, like just directly to the masses and kind of cutting out all the middlemen,
right?
All the promoters, all the DJs, TV, radio, cutting out all that stuff,
Man.
And so it's interesting, man, because it's like that these things are very much, this technology is very much a disrupting technology. It's something that purposely is meant to change the way things are done, right? So when I think about what younger artists can do, like same thing, that's pretty much like the one thing I try to tell people as well is like, aside from some of them investing in the things that you need to invest in, bro, just if you're not getting through on this avenue,
try.
If X isn't working, try Y. If Y is not working, try Z. Just keep trying. You know what I mean?
And you gotta keep trying so much. You gotta just keep pumping it. Like people are telling me, like, Adrian, you're doing a podcast, go live on your TikTok. Dude, it's so many things you just never know, man. You just never know.
Yeah.
It just, and it's like I said, your opportunities, don't take your opportunities for granted. And a lot of artists these days, I think personally, they're too prima donna, man. Like, I don't know how to say it, but hey, we being real. A lot of artists, like things that are like small and frivolous, they blow it out of proportion. I have personally seen artists backstage and the promoter, he's doing so many things, forgot to get a drink backstage and whatnot. And they're like, yo, I'm leaving here. And I'm like, you're leaving? Right. Nah, they gotta respect my contract and have my drink. And I say, yo, just tell the promoter, but just remind the man. So you're actually gonna leave a show because the promoter didn't have drinks for you backstage? Why? But hey, every man for themselves. If that's how that person, I've seen artists say, I'm not taking up pictures with this person. Nah, I don't do that. I don't. But I blame ours. I blame the people. You make the artists like that, so hey, that's how they are.
Yeah, it's interesting to see because I don't think a lot of people understand it, and even though I say it all the time, especially someone who's filmed and been on the stage and then backstage, so it's like a lot of people understand that there's a stage for every artist. There's a stage persona, and then there's them as a person, and they're two different people,
man.
And you have some artists that embrace their fans and choose to say, you know what, the fans or the people around me, have given me the opportunity to be here. I want to give back to them as well. And they're on the ground, and there's so many amazing artists, man, that I find, who are so humble, create monster music,
and they're just humble people.
I spoke with one time.
Talk to them anytime. But there's a lot of artists that puts on a persona. When I tell you they put on a persona, that they're so nice and loving, but in actuality they're terrible individuals.
Yeah.
I've seen that so many times. Like artists that are big. I'm not calling nobody name, but there are a lot of artists out there that they're big. And people give them love, and people give them genuine love and stuff like that. And they go down that stage and they this, and then behind the scenes, they're like, they actually don't care. They don't give a shit. And I always say, like, man, God, why this person have such an opportunity in life to be so big, and this person is so ratchet, but man, life is life, and it's not even a mistake, or they do it once or twice. That's just who they are as a person and an individual. I don't know if it stems from how hard they have worked to get where they at, and how much people shun them, how much people give them shit, because I'm not gonna lie to you, you begging a DJ to play your music, you asking people for sponsorship, and they treating you like shit and turn you down. When you make it, you are definitely gonna remember that. You always remember them. And as Fate would put it, these are people that you see on a regular at shows and stuff like that. And I know they remember it, because they look at you in your eye and they'll be like, man, that person just blew up that stage, and I could have helped that person. They think it. And there's some artists that rub it in their face big time. And there's some people that just don't give a shit. They don't care. But I mean, man, life is life, and you go through it regardless. Some things you forgive, some things you forget. It is what it is, man. Me personally, I try to live as best as I can with people. I try to take my opportunities. I try to be as loving as possible. I try to. I don't know. I think genuinely for me, it's because I didn't just look at television and stuff like that and said I wanted to become an artist. I looked at it and said, I'm terrified of that. How can that person do that? But the thing that won me over is when I went to my first soca show. It was a Rupee show. I never forgot that. And Rupee sang Jump. And I've never seen something like that before. I'm in the crowd. I see confetti. I see flags. I see people jumping. And I'm like, what? I was like in awe. And I'm like, you know what? I want to do this. So every show I do, everywhere I go, whatever, when I'm finished performing, I always find myself in the crowd having a good time. That's just me. And people would dance with me and I have a good time. That's me, man. The Diwali celebrations, I'm on the ground, I'm having fun with people. That's just me. I don't want to be backstage and this person can't take a picture with me. Then why you doing it, man? Like, you're doing it for the people. You God give you this talent. Have fun, enjoy it, whatever. I'm not the type of artist that is backstage. You're not taking a picture with me. I'm not having. You know how many times I say, man, I ain't drinking. And when I go out there, hey, come have a drink with my family. Come eat some curry. Come. And I'm like, let's just do it, man. Let's just eat the damn curry. Let's have some drinks. Because why do it, man? Just have fun doing it. And that's me. That's me. And I always say to myself, Adrian, you know what? That is the true you. You're going to be the type of artist that go on the stage, perform, have a good time, and then you're going to be in the crowd enjoying the show, because that's how you started off, enjoying the show. So that's just me. I'm not going to be the guy backstage that people can't take a picture with. I'm not going to be the type of artist that you can't have a drink with. You can't chill out with people. You can't send oh my gosh. My phone is be loaded with birthday requests. I can't even keep up with them. Send a birthday shout out. These are the people that make you, man. But man, I always question myself like, God, why do you make the people that are so big and this and that the ones that are total assholes, man? Like, I don't know if it's because they're that big, they take it for granted because they have it already. I don't know. But such is life, man. Such is life.
Here's what I've seen, and here's what I've seen with like both in terms of being filming artists, but also what I've seen work. And I always find the things that work the best for a lot of artists are those who are like on the ground. So hearing you being someone that embraces being on the ground, being amongst people, is so important, man. Because I'll never forget. I was on Uber Soca cruise one time, and I was supposed to have a backstage pass to work, and because of how everything was, they never got it to me. So I remember I was just walking around the boat, and I run into to Lil Natty from Grenada, right? And same like how I made a video for Guyanese Soca back in 2019, and I had a lot of Guyanese artists, and even when I went to Guyana, just regular people who I didn't even think saw the YouTube video, because I mean it had views, but it didn't have like a crazy. But
Crazy. Yeah.
I went to Guyana for Guyana Convo, and random people came up to me like, "Yo, Richard, just want to say thank you so much. Like, we've never seen anybody talk about Guyanese music, right?" So I was so grateful, right? And same thing, I did the same thing for Grenada's music, right? I was like, "Yo, you guys gotta listen to this music, this artist, Lil Natty and Tan, and these guys, and some other guys as well." And I said, "Yo, he's like, how's everything, Rich?" I said, "Good, man. I was trying to get backstage to do some stuff, film some things." The man, he said, "Bro, I don't even care to go back." He took off his band and he gave it to me. He said, "Here, bro, go have fun." I was like, "What?"
Because
and it made sense.
because every artist is different, and man, like, I think you generally have to be a good person.
Yeah.
If you're a total dick coming up, you'll always be a total dick. It don't matter how much you try to sugarcoat it. But if you're a generally cool and down to earth person, you'll always be that type of person. And like I always say, man, like, it's so messed up that people that are not nice, and people that are always treating people bad and stuff like that get to the top of things and always get things happening for them. But I would never be a bad guy. Never. That's just me, bro. I always love to have fun, and I respect people for what they do and stuff like that. Guys, I remember I see you do so many countdowns, like stuff like the best 10 tunes for Carnival, this and this, and I'm like, yo, this dude is really cool, man. This dude is always humble, whatever. So when you reached out to me for this podcast, there is no way in hell
Bro, nah,
I was not gonna. Listen. The weekend for me was crazy. Well, nobody gives a flying ass about Father's Day. Yeah, let's be true about it. Mothers get help, and they deserve it. Father's Day, myself, Terry Godraj, we were all over. I did so many things the weekend. I did LA, I did Minnesota, I did Texas. Tired, came in. When you sent me that message, I was like, oh, it's today. Oh, nah. I am going to take a shower. As soon as I reach in, I jump, took the shower, I'm heading out to Queens. Gotta do it. Because I wanted it, because I know the masses you reach. I know the people, and you never know what could happen for you, man. So I'm like, nah. When I see you tell me we could do it in July, hell no, we're not doing it in July. We're doing it today. We are going to get in the studio and we're going to do it. I don't care how tired I'm going to put on my dark shades and I'm going to come and do it. And I'm happy I did it, because when this is done, people may be like, damn, he was blunt. This is what podcasts are about. You blunt. You say what.
Don't worry, bro. There's nothing you could say or haven't already said that.
It's the truth.
I
man.
haven't said too, where people are just like, oh shit.
It's the truth, but it's the truth. You want want me to come and lie? It's the truth. I'm being real.
So I think it's important. Like we've spoken a good amount about music industry and stuff, right? But I think one of the things that you provide that, believe it or not, I don't think a lot of people think about, but it is something that I find is really important, is like what you provide for Guyanese people, especially here in New York. Because in Guyana is one thing, but there is a difference between a lot of Guyanese people here in New York and a lot of Guyanese people in Guyana.
Big difference.
And I find like there is a need, bro, and there's a lot of people, especially like when I go on TikTok and I see like a lot of young Guyanese people, like 16, 17 and stuff like that. And they want to have representation, bro. They want to see someone. They want to see their own. They want to see a Guyanese soca artist. They want. So like when I saw you do like I said you know, your music, I am a Guyanese, right? It's like there's a reason that song blew up, and I think that song it blew up because there's a need and a huge desire, bro, for Guyanese people to feel accepted and loved and embraced, because you've gone through, and you and many other Guyanese artists have gone through the struggle of not being accepted as Guyanese artists, right? On the ground, we as Guyanese people go through the struggle every day in America of not being accepted as Guyanese people as well, right? So I think like when I saw your song and when I saw the music video and I just saw how genuine it was and everything, it made me feel a sense of pride of like being Guyanese, because I saw that there's somebody else out there making something for us. Right? And I feel like that's something that I think we need to see more of, because when you ask Guyanese people like, yo, what does it mean to be Guyanese, bro? People don't know what to say. You get so many. Some people just think it's we drink rum and we I don't know. They listen to soca music and they're not even listening to Guyanese, so they listen to Trinidadian soca, and they don't know. Like when I try to speak to young Guyanese people and they try to tell me like, yo, like what did you know? I asked them, I'm like, you know, when you're growing up being Guyanese, like when you're in school, do you have Guyanese friends? They're like, yeah, there's a couple of us. I'm like, hey, like, what do you guys like to listen to, right? And I get like one of two answers. It's either like they are American and they don't want to embrace being Guyanese, or they embrace being Guyanese, but it's like they listen maybe to like Trinidadian soca music, or they listen to chutney music.
Of course, they're not listening.
But they don't.
Guyanese
But I also realize the young people, they don't know, and I feel like we need more Guyanese soca artists, and I understand like listening to you talk about it that it is a struggle, but I think we need to have more Guyanese soca artists making for Guyanese people with the intention of like, hey, I know there's a market out there for Guyanese people that want their culture and they're looking for it, and they don't even know what they're looking for, but let me try to give it to them. Because when I saw I Am a Guyanese, even when I showed it to Kendricks, my co-host at the time and everything, he's like, bro, this is such a beautiful thing. And like, even when I listened to, I think it was Kang who had put out a 2018 mix, a Guyanese soca mix, and I 2018 and 2019, I had listened to that whole mix from top to bottom, and I'm like, bro, we have a distinct style of music. It's not like our music just sounds like, and it's not like we're trying to be like Trinidad soca. You know what I mean? Like we like how same way Grenada has their own sound, the same way Vinci has their own sound, Barbados has their own sound. Our Guyanese soca has its own sound, and it's a really unique sound too, bro. You know, it's really melodic.
I think if all people embrace it, because it needs support. If the people show the love, the support, and everything, it would make a big difference, and it would encourage the artists to keep doing it. But they don't get the love, it don't get the support. So
yeah,
the artists, they're like,
no, I get where the sentiment comes from, right? I think one of the ways that like I would try to see, or I would encourage maybe young Guyanese soca artists to get the support they need, is by going the avenue of like trying to just say, you know what, forget the DJs, forget the promoters, forget all that stuff. Like, let me just go directly to who I want to talk to, whether if it's specifically Guyanese people in New York. Because I would say right now that's the market that we have here. Because people want it, bro. People want it.
And you know what?
I would say the demand here is even bigger than in the demand in Guyana, bro.
And you know what? I would say this. I'm not afraid to say it. I think for me, the love in Queens is like amazing for Adrian Dutchin.
Yeah.
The love for Queens is an amazing man. I think I get the most love in Queens. I think so, man.
But there's a reason for that, bro, right? And I'm telling you, it's like for me growing up here, and I'll talk about this more with you later because I genuinely like I'm so fascinated whenever I talk to people born in Guyana and growing up in Guyana because it's like a side of life and culture that like I want to know about that I didn't experience, right? And the reason why I feel like Guyanese people in Queens love their own, whether it's in Chutney or even in Soca and stuff like that, is because we know that we aren't accepted in spaces outside of our homes or our clubs. You go to your job and stuff like that. You can't really express being Guyanese. You know what I mean? We can only really do it in our own like bubbles. Like and these bubbles are like the clubs and that's why Pagua for us is such a huge thing here because it's the closest thing we will get to like a kind of like carnival, so to speak, in Queens, even though it's meant to be more of a religious thing. At the end of the day, it's a festival for us. You know what I mean?
Man.
And there's a huge amount of Guyanese pride during Pagua. It's really incredible to see. So like it makes sense to me that you get the love here in Queens because, bro, when I'm telling you, like, with Queens being predominantly Guyanese now, like specifically this area, it's like there is a need and a want to meet and see musicians like yourself on a stage representing us.
I love performing in Queens, man. I love, and I've had this like since the beginning of this year. I have been like, man, Queens, like, wow. Even the Pagua Festival, I was not slated to perform there. Terry was like, you are coming to my set. I'm like, nah, Terry was like, we are doing it. It is crazy how Queens just show the love. And I must say, thank you for that idea that maybe I should stop looking at the rest and focus on Queens, and maybe Queens would just blow it up because hey, it's an avenue that you have to explore, and as a creative, you must explore every single avenue. If you've not, then you can't talk or you can't say nothing because you don't know. So maybe Queens is a really interesting avenue for other artists and myself to think about.
I 100% think you should, man, because the one it's not like we have the venues. That's one, right? Like a lot of people from Brooklyn will come to Queens because Brooklyn is lacking venues, so they will come here to be able to experience Caribbean culture. And when I think about, and again, I only have this perspective because
that's a good perspective. Because listen, parties in Brooklyn are nice and whatnot, but to me, is a certain amount of restriction to it.
Absolutely.
Queens is just a totally different thing, yeah? Yo, you know, right? The amount of backyard events I'm invited to for summer in Queens. People from the Lions Club that I'm part of, Ozone Park Lions Club and stuff like that. And it turns into a concert, a party. People are like, hey, Adrian is here, y'all come down there. And the feel is so much different than in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I asked myself, like, wow.
So there's a reason for that. This is my theory. I'm not going to say this is fact, but theory is here in Queens, bro, again, biggest majority of the population in terms of Caribbean, biggest is Guyanese. So your own people are all right here, right? That's one. In Brooklyn, remember, majority of the Caribbean culture is either going to be revolving around being like Trinidadian music, Bajan music. Now we're getting a lot of bouillon in Brooklyn. So I find that yes, there's Guyanese people in Brooklyn too, and I know they have like the Guyana like theme party and stuff there, but in Queens, bro, it's like Guyanese people here go hard for their own events. For their own event,
man. You know, like I have this idea in my head. I have this idea in my head. I have it in my veins and everything. It's just that I'm scared to do it because I've never done it before. I've never had an event or a show that I based it around myself and other artists and stuff like that, because I personally feel that I'm not gonna get the support or I'm scared to do it. But being in Queens and doing so much events in Queens for last year, I'm saying it could happen. It could happen.
If you decided, like, just say hypothetically, let's say you decided to do your own events and you branded it as something like very Guyanese in terms of, yo, it's myself, Terry, and you bringing in the Guyanese
myself
artists,
and Terry, I swear to you,
bro, you will
Man,
sell out Amazon.
man,
Like Amazon is our biggest venue.
man,
It would sell
I-
out 100%,
I
100%.
I so want myself and Terry to go on tour and to do it. I am scared to do it. I don't know if Terry's scared to do it. I think he is, but I think we together. I think we can do it. And so we did rum drinkers. We did friends, right? It's just a matter of marketing it, and I would say people behind us. It would be a fantastic thing. I think, but I'm just scared to do it because I don't know if I don't know if we're gonna get the support. I don't know, but then again, it's 50-50. I'm thinking about. Can you imagine if you guys get the support and everything? How big this can be as a start. It gives every single artist a chance out there that's big, small, or whatever to say we can do this. We can try. Because Marshall started it with Marshall Mondays and everybody have their thing now. Iowa, Bungie, Voice. It needs a start. It needs a start. I'm scared to do it, but I think in order to say, yo, you did something for your people. I think myself and Terry need to do it. I think we need to do it.
I think it's scary. Don't get me wrong. I understand.
It's
right?
very scary,
It
man.
is, and I know it's an investment in terms
Very
of time,
scary.
money, energy, and But here's the thing that I think that will work in your favor, and for me, it all comes back to this same thing again. For me, and not only me, but knowing that a lot of people around me have the same sentiment. It all comes from specifically in Queens, in New York, and not just Queens in New York, but also Guyanese people across the country. Right? There is always going to be that very strong desire for us as Guyanese people to see our own people represent us on a stage somewhere because we never grew up with it. I never grew up with it.
It's
right?
an idea, man.
I'm telling you.
I'm speaking to you about it right
Yeah.
now, and it's. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
And trust me, the demand is there. The biggest thing will execution, logistics, marketing, all that stuff you can figure out. But I think if you guys were to do something like that, it would be revolutionary. I think it would, and this is not something. This is a very touchy subject that I know a lot of people don't want to talk about. I will talk about it because like I experience and I grew up here in the States, so I know. But even just the way the state of how things are, bro. When I think about why my parents left Guyana and the stigmas of race, and I like to see Afro Guyanese and an Indo Guyanese come together and do something, bro, for Guyanese, especially young Guyanese people here in New York. That is something that young people especially want to see more of. And I think if you were to do something like that, it's more than just two Guyanese people coming together. It's also a unity thing of race because in our country's history, whatever the colonizers and people have tried to do, they've always tried to divide and segment us on race. And I remember growing up and hearing the stories and going to Guyana and seeing how things are and even seeing that continue in New York. Queens is all Indian, Brooklyn is all black. And we don't, back in the early 2000s, you used to have more mixed parties. And I see that now and I'm like, bro, like Indian people in Queens and Afro-Caribbean people in Brooklyn, like we don't do things together. We don't want, all the Queens people want to be in one event, all the Brooklyn people want to be in one event.
Yeah. You know what I think? You know what I think about that? I honestly think it's like the older generation.
Yeah, of course.
Always push that narrative
Of course.
of racism. And I remember when I was in school, I was like 15, 16. The school I went to in Guyana, the name of the school was Indians, and not a lot of black guys or black girls go to that school, and I graduated to go to that school. So when I went to the school, like I was like, man, there were a lot of Indians here. And one of the guys was like, hence the name Indians. I'm like, yeah, like, yeah, but so I'm like, it don't matter to me because I was never a racial person, never. I was like, cool, everything is good. But one of the guys came to me, he's like, you know why they like you so much, bro? I'm like, all right. He's like, because you're mixed. You have every race in you. You're like a redskin. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, bro. You have my grandmother, God rest the dead. She died at 95. She's Indian, and he's like, yeah, you're Indian. You're mixed. I'm like, oh. He's like, I think you should use that to your advantage, bro. Yeah. And I started music in school, and people from all races would come to our school to see me perform, and I'm like, wow, maybe this is my little niche or whatever. And nobody cared about this and that. And I've always had Indian girlfriends. Like, it was nothing to me. But my guy was like, bro, she's Indian, right? I'm like, and? Like, I'm like, and? It never mattered to me. But a lot of them were like, yeah, my grandmother, it was never their father or their mother. It was the grandmother because they say you mix with black and this. And that got me thinking like, oh, it's more the older because that is the era they grew up in. Yeah. That segregation thing. But these days, nobody gives a damn about that. Nobody cares.
I'm glad to hear that because I don't actually know how it is in Guyana, right? But I will say like, here's the thing about, well, at least what I've kind of noticed, not amongst younger people, but more so like same thing like parents and grandparents generation. I find like, when I like my parents and that generation and the one right above them, when they came to New York and left Guyana, they brought a lot of that same mentality with them, right? So it's like I personally have grown up with friends that I've gone to high school with who were like, yeah, like they've had, like Caribbean black boyfriends and stuff like that, but they always had to like kind of keep it
keep it on the secret, right?
Or keep it on the down low. And it's because that same mentality was brought over. And I think personally, like I always love seeing, because we used to see more of it. Again, like I mean, this is more stuff I wanted to talk about on a whole other thing, but it's like the lack of like I don't see as much as I used to Indian and Black Caribbean people together collaborating like they used to. Like I feel like in soca music specifically, we see so much like Bungie and Hitman, Marshall and this one, and Marshall Drupati,
and we used to and Marshall and
a lot of them,
Bungie and Ricky and them. Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, what was the aside from you and Tara? I'm like, yo, what was the last big thing that I saw? It was probably like Ravi B and Jelano, and even then,
I have a song with Ravi.
Really get the biggest.
Even me, I have a song, but man, I don't know, man. It's such a divide sometime, and I think us as entertainers, if we would put a stamp on certain things, because we have that little nudge of people more believe in us and whatnot, and if we would put a emphasis on it, it would do great. But maybe a lot are scared. Well, I don't know. But I have a song with Ravi B. Yeah. I have a song with Ricardi. I have a song with. I would love to do a song with Savita and Raymond, bro. I would love to do that. But that's just how it goes, man.
100% you can. So that's why I think coming back to
do you cut pause and stuff like that, or you
Do you need
I
to?
want a piece.
Yeah.
Podcast is like this is my first podcast ever.
I can't
bro.
believe it, bro. There's such a vibe, bro.
This is my first podcast ever, bro. Like I've never done a podcast.
I always find too for like artists, it's so important because like radio, you only get such a limited amount of time, and I'm like, here you could just talk however much you want, you know.
Yeah, like you just because when you chop it up, just make it a like I mean I don't know if you do maybe what you call it, like a something for a preview or whatever however you do it.
So
however you do it,
it's called micro content. So the micro content, like the podcast itself, like the full length episode on YouTube will maybe get like a couple hundred views, but the little short segments, like if I were to take a short segment that you would want, like if it's like you talking about, you know, your song with Terry, those things get like thousands of views, bro.
It don't matter,
Sometimes
bro.
50,
Listen,
sometimes 100. I'm like, oh shit.
I'm just happy. I am just happy that I'm doing this, bro.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
but
man.
for me, bro, like it is never. I mean, I'll go back to your original, but all of this, bro, was never about the views. It's more so giving someone the platform to express themselves. Like I want you to be able to express and talk about, like, you know, this is what it means to you. You know.
Your shit is, you're doing an excellent job, bro.
Thank
I
you
tell
so
you,
much, bro.
excellent.
Yeah.
So much people love your stuff, bro.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
People love your stuff. When I told you, man, when I was like, yo, I am coming on this. I don't care what. I can be tired. I am here. All right, let's
Back,
go.
we good to go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, no, like I was saying.
You ask a hard question, bro. Ask whatever. I'll tell you whatever.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I think for me, like, yeah, like just on the, like how we were talking about like the topic of race and stuff, like I always was curious to know, like, for like, so first, which part of Guyana are you from?
I'm from Georgetown.
Okay, from town. Yeah.
I grew up in Kitty. Then I lived in Durban Street. I lived in Alberton. I live in All Boystown. But Kitty is where I came up initially, you know, and more so, like everywhere I go, it was always love. It was always a vibe, a energy. It don't matter where. What happened, like when I started doing music, I was in a group called Seven. That's how I started music, and the group, it was a very multiracial group. I had an Indian guy from this school. I had a Buck guy from this. It was mixed up. So I think that's the reason why a lot of people like the group and everything. So me coming up as Adrian Dutchin, I have never really experienced racism. I have experienced it on TikTok before. A lot of people would message me behind the scenes. They're like, I notice a lot of Indian people be on your on your thing, whatever. But I don't reply to them or whatever. Or if I have a show in Queens, people are like, oh, the show is packed with Indian people and stuff like that. I just bypass them stuff. But I really do live by our motto: one people, one nation, one destiny. It don't matter to me. My grandmother was Indian. My aunts, my uncles, we were never a racial family. So you would never find that part of me ever. I love everybody. That's just me.
No, that's nice. I'm just happy to hear though, like that for you growing up, that like that it was that you did have that immersion where it was like, yeah, you got to, everybody just saw each other as Guyanese, because it's like I said, like, you know, when the older generation came here to New York, they kept those values. And I like when I hear stories like my mom, for example, my mom's from La Jealousy on the West Coast.
Yes, okay,
my dad's from
okay.
Port Morant. In the East.
Well, my the Dutchins family from Berbice, they came from Lovely Lass.
Okay.
So a lot of people know my Dutchins family from Lovely Lass, and they would always ask me, and lo and behold, most people that ask me about Lovely Lass are Indian. They're like, hey, I know your grandmother, boy, and I know this, and I was like, yeah, they're like, yeah, the Dutchins. So. Man, I honestly don't see why the racial divide. I honestly don't.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always interesting because like I always try to ask people, like I try to ask like my cousins that grew up there. I try to ask like people who are older than me, you know, why is it? What is the conflict, you know, between you know of race and stuff? And at least like when I speak to like my parents' generation and those older, it kind of stem, at least for them. I can't speak on everybody, but for at least when I talk to my grandparents and stuff, they don't know how to express it, but this is what I've gathered based on what they told me. It comes from this mentality of like surviving. And when I talk to them, it always has to do with like the days of like with Burnham being in power. And not so much that like, yes, there were problems, but it had to do apparently with like there were always fights. And there was always instigating, like these people would try to instigate these people. But before that, they never had issues. You know what I mean?
Listen,
like,
to me personally, the only time when you ever really see racial divide in Guyana, Black and Indian and Chinese and but whatever, the only time you ever see racial divide in Guyana is election time. Election. Like if it's not election, you do not see racial divide in Guyana. Nobody cares who's Indian. Nobody cares who's black. Nobody cares who's buck. Nobody gives a damn. When you see election time, there's always a racial divide, and it's predominantly among Indians and blacks around election time. Everybody know. Most Indian people vote for PPP. Most black people vote for in my time was PNC or APNU or whatever, and that causes the racial divide. And it's a big thing. It's a big war. It's a big this that. And it happens for like let's say 3-4 months, and then everything goes back into perspective.
So interesting, yeah.
But it's so sad that that 3-4 months of racial divide, so many bad things happened. The world or everybody looks upon Guyana as such a bad place because of people that pushing out things only push out the bad things. They only push the horrible, diabolical things. Oh, this Indian person do this or this black person do this. That's what they do. So other than that, to me, Guyana is fine. Election time is the most... Look, Guyanese people would come together as one and fight together as one for frivolous things. I was looking at TikTok, and there's this girl from Jamaica. Her name is Markrell or something like that. She said something bad about Guyana, and the entire country, everybody came together as one, and they went against her. Nobody cared who's Indian, who's black, who's Chinese, whatever. They came together as one for that. Then there was this thing with major hype. The entire country came together as one. So why can't we stay like that all the time as one? It's funny, eh? We can't stay together as one as a people for conscious things, for good things. But anything to do with nonsense, we're together as one. Like,
it's interesting to me, but really and truly, man. No, for real. But again, like I'm glad to like that's actually something I'm glad to hear that, like, for the majority of time, aside from election times, and we know why it gets that way during election time, because they need to pit people against each other to get illicit responses to get votes and all that stuff, which is sad on its own. But I'm happy to hear that, at least for the most part, that like that people do see each other not just as strictly on race, because here, like for us as Guyanese people living here in New York, bro, like we don't know how other people see each other in Guyana, but like we do know, like at least for us, I would say and that's what I say, in the party scene specifically, you can see that there's still very much like a racial divide. Like it's not always where I purposely find it's more of an anomaly where you will see like Guyanese Indian people here in Queens, like really always hanging out with Guyanese black people in Brooklyn. Like it's like you're only really gonna find Guyanese people, black people in Brooklyn at their own events in Brooklyn. Yeah. Or if it's an event in Queens, it's gonna be a Brooklyn promoter brings that Brooklyn crowd here. And that's why for me, like I feel sad about it, honestly, because I want to meet more Guyanese people, more than just what I know in Queens. Like I like. And that's just me, again, having this mindset of like, yo, I didn't grow up knowing at all who I was or what my culture is. So I want to explore that and find that and talk to as many people, Guyanese people that I can. Well, you know what I mean? And here,
you think about it.
Tell me what your experience is.
You think about it, how it is for me being on stage, and seeing that vibe and that energy. You see it on stage. Oh, the crowd is filled with Indians or blacks or this. It's like you're like, man, what to sing, what to do, it messes with your mind. Myself and Terry, we were on stage in Minnesota. Shout out to everybody in Minnesota. Amazing crowd, fantastic people. That crowd in Minnesota, it was dominated by Indians, but they just did not care. They didn't give a shit. They just came to have a good time. They didn't care about chutney, soca, oldies, dance hall. These people just wanted to have a genuinely good time. That's it. They enjoyed the soca, they enjoyed the chutney, everything. And on that stage, I was like, man, this Minnesota crew, these people made a lot of people in Brooklyn and a lot of places look so small. And Minnesota, the place had like about 150, 200 people. They enjoy themselves. They had no time for nonsense, man. And that's how it should be. Whether you in Queens, you in Brooklyn, you in Long Island, wherever. Man, let's just stop, cut the shit. Let's just enjoy ourselves, have a good time, man.
Yeah.
Why do we have to break it up? Because
it makes sense to me that in Minnesota they would do that, because being on tour for same thing as I told you, like when the one time I went on tour with Farmer in 2021, bro, it was like the same exact thing. Like
how was that though, bro? Like
it's nice.
Yo,
it's nice.
It was amazing. It was amazing for me to be on Instagram and whatnot and see you do all the recaps and everything. And I was like, man, this guy have deep Guyanese roots. I'm so happy that Farmer had you on that journey, man. I'm so happy.
I'm eternally, and even first I have to give the biggest up to NH Productions, Navindra, my friend, my mentor, my colleague, does all the videos for Fama, for Kes, for Marshall.
NH, he's big.
Yeah,
man. Listen, it's what I beg is that you see someone from Guyana or somewhere that you can mentor and help them to follow in your footsteps.
There's some amazing people.
There's this guy called Keon.
You just read my mind.
Keon
I'm like,
is really good. Keon is working on some projects with me right now.
Yeah.
He's really good, man.
I just saw he did something with Anil Dunya and stuff, and I saw them.
Yeah, we were actually
music video and everything was beautiful.
We were actually in Guyana. We were in Guyana together, myself, Anil, and Ranjiv. We had an amazing time. The time was so short, but we had so much to do. And Anil, fantastic dude, man. Ranjiv, fantastic.
All three of those guys, Anil, Ranjiv, Randy, those guys have shown me nothing but love from day one, bro.
And I've always been a part. We was in Canada this one time, man, and my hotel was far from the entire thing. Randy said, "Hey, I'm coming to get you, bro." I'm like, "Man, it's far." Randy said, "Bro, I am driving and come and get you." These guys, Ranjiv, like, these are guys that I'm always close with. We're always Anil was like, "Man, we were in Guyana, bro. We're having a good time in Guyana." And that's how it should be. Nobody gives a damn about race and this and that. We're having a good time, bro. This is a journey that is once in a lifetime, man. We're not gonna have this journey again, So, man, enjoy it and do it the right way.
Yeah, and I think the people who are not like in these like Caribbean culture hubs, you get more love and appreciation for them, because similar to how I was saying how I didn't grow up with knowing those things. Like when I think of like when I went with Farmer to these places, like when I went to Houston, and when we went to he went to Rochester, and we went to another place as well. And then, coming back to New York in that lineup of shows, I saw the difference between those crowds. I saw how like the Houston crowd, they don't really get to experience Caribbean culture all the time. Like here in New York, you could go to a club every weekend and you'll get soca.
You get that soca.
But for them, they may not always have it. Yes, they may have their club stuff, but so the times when they do have someone like yourself or someone like Farmer or someone who represents them come, it's like, bro, for them, it's like this opportunity is so scarce. Like, we don't have time for bullshit. Let's just enjoy it.
And I think I mean? I think that what happened with Minnesota, because so I was so tired. I came off stage in I did this stuff in Pennsylvania, and I was tired. So I got to Minnesota. When I got to Minnesota, it was raining. The rain was killing. And I'm like, wow, I hope people come out to this thing, man. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm in the hotel. The promoter from Minnesota, the guy is just cool. Indian guy, he's cool. He's like, yo, what do you want to eat? You would not believe. I know people would say I'm just saying this because of the podcast, but bro, I love roti. Yo.
I love roti and curry soup.
I'm not just saying it because of the podcast, but roti and belanje choker is like my thing, bro. I love it, right? So he said, what you want to eat? I said, I want routine Balanje choke. He's like, bro, this is Minnesota. I don't know where I'm getting that from. I'm like, man. Man. So he called some Jamaican spots. I know Jamaican spots ain't gonna know nothing but Balanje choker. So I'm like, all right, cool. What ended up happening? Terry cousin she's like, I'm cooking routine Balanje choker for you. I'm like, don't tease me. I want don't tease me. Yo, we went by her. Oh my gosh, the routine Balanje choker was amazing. I eat 3 roti, 2 servings of Balanje choker, took back 3 roti, a whole serving back to the hotel. When I was done with the show, I murdered that one time. I eat dal. Bro, that's what I love to eat. That's me. So, Minnesota crowd, they when we got there, people were like, man, we want you guys to mash up the place. Yo, I enjoyed that show from starting to end. And you know what I said to myself? When did you really, really enjoy that? A small place like this, so good. The people enjoyed themselves, and it was a mixed crowd. Nobody cared about race, creed, political affiliations. They just had a good time.
Yeah. And I think, like, you know, when you get to be in those spaces and you know that you as an artist deliver to them and help them experience it,
it makes you feel great,
great,
as an artist,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
If right now I'm on a path, the path that I'm on right now is a total give up, don't care. I'm not begging no DJ to play my music. I'm not begging nobody for sponsorship. I'm basically just doing it and put it out. You like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. I don't care. That's the part I'm on. And going there and performing and these people reacting, how it did wonders for me as an artist. I felt appreciated. I felt loved. And they had people from Jamaica, they had people from Trinidad there, and they were like, man, you guys were entertaining. I enjoyed it, man. Can you guys come back here? The promoter guy, he was like, wow, man. What? I didn't think he believed that the show would have the show was doing okay, but at the ending stage of the show, coming on to like the last probably 5 hours, the tickets started to people saw us there. We made a couple radio press calls, blah blah blah. And he's like, yo, the tickets are moving. We're gonna be like 20 more tickets, we're done. Then he called us, man, we are done, and people are still trying to, we can't hold no more. And I'm like, I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy. Minnesota, great crowd. LA, great crowd. Myself and Terry really need to think about doing it. And you know what? I don't think we need to think about doing it as for us. I think we need to do it for the culture.
So that's exactly, and again, that's exactly what I
think
was saying,
so,
because just exactly how there are people out there, bro, that trust me, they want it, and
I think we need to do that.
I'm telling you, like, same thing as I was telling you, bro. It all stems from us as Guyanese people not being here, specifically not being able to have that representation and that love. And I think for you guys, and I every time I see Terry as well, like whenever I see him touch a stage, and every time I see you perform, I think one of the things that you guys do amazingly well is you genuinely bring joy to a crowd. Like you guys have a way of taking. I'm not gonna say anybody can go on stage and sing a song, because that's not true. But what I will say is you do more than just going on stage and performing. You're transmitting an energy, and you're transmitting love, and you're transmitting joy. And I know that sounds like kind of corny, but in the truth, people really need to understand that I feel is an artist's greatest gift. Like for me, I'm a videographer, right? But and I spoke to a guy the other day.
You love what you do, man.
Yeah, I love what I do.
And you know what's funny? It don't matter if you're good, if you're bad, or whatever. Whatever you do, it tells in your creation.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody can look at the World is Rich production and they could tell this is a guy that loves what you pay attention to detail. You try to put out the love. You try to you try to put out the best quality, the best edited stuff because you respect your craft and you love what you do. So people can look at it and see that. It's the same thing for the stage. When you go on the stage, you perform. It's not, oh, I just want to do this and get my money and go. You're genuinely on that stage, loving seeing people singing your songs, people waving. And when you on that stage, you don't know what people is going through to be at that show. You don't know what they're going through at that point in their life, but they're just having a good time, man. They're just having a ball. You know, like I'm talking and my pores are raising because I have done shows and I'm like singing, I am a Guyanese, and I see people in the crowd with the Guyana flag waving and tears coming. I don't know what they're going through. Maybe they're missing their mom in Guyana, their father, their siblings, I don't know. But there's so many instances I've been performing I'm a Guyanese and I've seen people crying. I don't know what is going through. And I'm so happy to be there giving them that experience. If I don't enjoy it and embrace it with them, then I'm just fake, man. I'm not a good artist. There's no reason that you should even buy tickets. There's no reason that you should even support my music, because if I can't enjoy this moment with you as an artist, then why am I doing it? Why am I doing it, man? And that's just my take on it.
Yeah, that's a really, really incredible perspective to have, man. And again, I think a lot more people need to have that perspective as well. But it all comes full circle in the sense of, like, at least for me, the way I always saw it, and I think it could be the same for you too, it was always like love first and then your craft second. So like for me, the whole reason I started doing this,
I've never thought about it like that. Wow.
For me, that's how I started video, right?
Love first and your craft second.
That's how it was. It was like I grew up not having Caribbean culture. I saw the things that they would make specifically about Guyanese people, like when the media would come here. And I'm always like, I always feel like this doesn't really represent us. This is like talking about us from like a lens that is like an outsider's perspective. But why can't we just do it from our own perspective? So then when I started to film, I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. You know, I called Navindra one time, and he just happened to be in New York, and I sat with him for like 3 hours. And he was like, yo, Rich, yeah, like, and he sat me down and I asked him as many questions as I could think of, like, how do I do this? How do I do that? Like all the technical stuff. And he sat me down, and even for him to his whole thing stemmed from, it was like love of culture first. And then how do you express that love? For you express it through music. For me, we express it through visuals. And when I started to really think about it, I was like, you know what? Like once I was able to start kind of getting into like doing soca and stuff, bro, I would just go to shows and take pictures. Like I would just beg a promoter for a backstage pass, or I mean, not even backstage, a media pass. Be like, bro, I just want to come just take some pictures. Or one of my good friends who's a DJ, he would get me a pass to, if he was booked for a set, he'd be like, yo, Richard's going to be an artist there. Come, I'm going to give you a small something to take some photos with me. And then after that, you know, do whatever you want. Most people he hired would just come and take the photos of him and then leave. And I'm like, no, man, like I want to document this moment. This is important. Like when are we ever going to get to see these people here on this stage again? Like I want to take pictures, and I want to show people who we are from our own perspective, you know? Not just, oh, the news came and they're filming these people and they don't even know how to pronounce the word Guyana. You know what I mean? So for me, it was like my work wouldn't look or be the way it is if I didn't genuinely love my being Caribbean. And I didn't always have that love. Most of my life, my childhood, I spent a majority of my childhood being ashamed of being Caribbean because I didn't go to school with Caribbean people.
Oh, okay.
I went to school with all like Italian people.
Italian, American.
And it was rough. And it was right around the time 9/11 happened. So to be the only Indian person in a school of all white Italian Americans, a couple families associated with the mob and stuff, like very vicious time to be in that space.
I love using the word diabolical.
It was, bro.
It's brutal, right?
When I say growing up, like people, my mom would volunteer at the school just cause, you know what I mean? She was like, go volunteer and stuff. And people would come up to her and be like, "Oh, what is your son gonna be for Halloween?" Osama bin Laden and all this crazy shit, bro. Like
really?
crazy. And then like not being able to like not having that confidence of knowing like, hey, I'm Guyanese. I'm not what you think I am. Like I didn't have that knowledge because nobody reinforced it in me,
Bro.
right? So for someone like you who makes a song, I am a Guyanese. Imagine like if I Am a Guyanese came out when I was a kid in school and I watched that and I got it and I knew this is who I am. So that song that you made, there's a reason people in the audience cry, bro. There's a reason, and I can only speculate, but it's because we here
The
do
things
not
you go through, right? What
get
you go
to.
through.
It's what we go through, but it's
What you
also
go through, eh?
we don't get the opportunity or we don't have a space for us to explore being Guyanese.
And you know what?
And your song gives us the opportunity to celebrate being Guyanese.
And you know what's the cliche about that, bro?
You know?
Like when I did that song, I did not like that song. I was in Brooklyn, New York. I lived East 21st. Big up my mother-in-law. I'm in East 21st, and I got an idea. I actually got the idea from Rupi singing "I'm a Bajan," right? And I just like, I sat down, I'm in the bed and I'm like, I am a Guyanese, no matter where I be. I am a Guyanese. And I'm like, I recorded it on my phone because I knew I would not remember it. And then I'm still thinking, and I'm like, it don't matter where I be, I'm proudest to be me. I'll always represent, I'm always Guyanese. In every party I rep in, inside a defense I rep in. And I'm like, I know a lot of people overseas, country people overseas, never deny your Guyanese. And I sent it to the producer, right? And he's like, bro, I love this. And I'm like, bro, the man sent me the beat within 25 minutes. He said, Adrian, put the lyrics down. Do it. I said, man, he's like, bro. And he was not even Guyanese. He said, do it, bro. I'm gonna mix this song and everything. Do it. I'm like, man, I don't like this. I don't like this thing, bro. He said, bro, do it. I did it. I did not even have money to mix it. The man said, I'm gonna do it, bro. Do it. I did it. Sent when the song was done, I just sent it out to DJs and left it. So many DJs is like, bro, can I get a dub? Can I do it? And I'm like, and it just went. It just went. And I remember DJs telling me, bro, this song is going to remain in history, bro. And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. I guess you don't know what you do. I don't know, but I just didn't like the song. The entire project, TikTok, Mr. DJ, I didn't like it. I did not like it. You know what I mean? I guess because I think people from Guyana genuinely don't respect or like the creatives. They don't give you encouragement or whatever. So I was like, whatever, just another something. There's nobody from Guyana would ever encourage their child to be an entertainer, be a creative. Never. It wouldn't happen. And you know why is that? I think because we don't make no money from it. Being a creative in Guyana, it's a very slippery slope when it comes to being a creative in Guyana. If you tell your mother or your father you want to be an entertainer, they ask if you're stupid. Are you crazy? Nah, everybody want to be a doctor, a lawyer, not even a fireman in Guyana, probably a doctor, a lawyer. Maybe they would try to be in government, the president, something, not an entertainer, not a creative. Designers, photographers, videographers, whatever. Nope. And that the reason why for that is because we don't get paid for it. You don't get no royalties. You cannot make a living as an entertainer in Guyana. That is the bottom line. Whoever looking at my TikTok, whoever can see this and want to come for me, do your thing. I'm just speaking the truth. You cannot live. You could be an entertainer in Guyana. You could be on one of the biggest shows tomorrow and you catching a bus to go to work the next day. People, you can sit down next to people. Yo, I was in the crowd looking at you perform. I was jumping for you. Thanks, man. It is what it is. That's the truth. Nobody wants to sponsor you. Nobody wants to do this. Nobody wants to do that. But you make it, everybody jumps on you. Everybody want to do this. Everybody want to do that. But when you, man, in my lifetime, I'm not going to see it happen. In yours, you're not going to see it happen. And I totally give up. I guess it happens when it happens, man.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? I could see that being like a huge deterrent, and I think that's a big reason, like, why we don't see a lot of young, specifically Guyanese soca artists just coming up and doing things, because
it's not even soca.
Yeah.
Even to chutney, even to modeling, whatever. It's like, it's so. Do a test, right? Do a test. Do a production. The world is rich. Put it out. See how many Guyanese support it and how many Trinidadians or the rest of the world support it. And you would see. Even let people know you're Guyanese to get that support. And you will see. Trinidadians and everybody would most likely support it more than your own Guyanese people.
When I go to Trinidad, people think I'm from Trinidad, like, and they give me like the love and the embrace of being from Trinidad.
But you being with Farmer Nappy, doing this, doing that, people would think you're Trinidadian, because people wouldn't think Farmer would actually take somebody that with Guyanese roots and everything to do that, because for some reason, Guyanese people think that their own cannot rise to the occasion. And that's so sad. Like, if you don't believe in you don't believe in your people, who else will? Who else will? And you always glorify the Jamaicans, the Trinidadians, and this. How do you think they are where they are? Their own people believed in them. That's how they got it. So if you don't believe in your own, how the hell can your own rise to the occasion? Because you don't believe in your own. They rather play Trinidadians and Jamaican Barbados music in their own carnival than play their own people.
So that's the next question I was gonna ask you. Like, when it comes to like festival, right? That I would say I've only been, right. I've always wanted to go for Mash. I've never been, but I know Guyana Carnival, they started their thing and stuff, which is supposed to be like private entity. But like for you, like what is your experience with Mash, and like take me back to like the beginning. Was it something that you always participated in? Did you kind of get more into it when you started doing music, or what is like that whole scene like? Because most Guyanese people here don't even know
about Mashramani and stuff like that.
And that's even a thing.
Mashramani, you see, well, in my days, Mashramani was the route that you take down Irving Street and whatnot. You be on the malls and Mashramani back in my days was way better than now. To me now it's just about women that have the big breasts and the tattoos and the big booty, and
so it's less cultural and more
less
surface.
Cultural and more. Yeah. Back then, everybody wanted to be out having a good time, just looking at the chick board and seeing this thing. It was much more cultural, man. And for you as an artist to be on a truck on Mashramani Day was like wow, because everybody would get to see you, because when that float is going down the road, there's thousands of people along the route. Now it's like totally played out. more people are just looking at the women, the this, the and it's sad. You're not playing your country music from your country. You're not bigging up your own people. It's watered down big time. So I would say I probably had the tail end of it, the sweetness, and that's how I became a household name. So I'm always, and then the Soca Monarch in Guyana was Carib took it over then. It was much more, I would say, it was much more a need to win it. Because if you win it, you know that, okay, this, you're gonna be on this, you're gonna be on that, you're gonna think. Now, I mean, the government took it over. If you win it, you get more money. You're on bigger shows and stuff like that. But other than the government pushing you, like the other people, they really don't give you the push and the respect that you need, man. So, and then Tamika Marshall told me something. She's like, I spoke to the minister, Charles Ramson, and told him, like, so come on, actually be life changing. So come on, do you know when I look at the money that you make in Trinidad, Soca Monarch and Trinidad Road March, I was like, oh my God, what? What? This is the amount of money you make for this thing? It is, oh my God, it is amazing. That is life changing. You can actually do so much with that money for yourself. And that is what it's supposed to be like. But in Guyana, fortunately,
Do you just feel like there's a lack of investment from both like private and public, or like
definitely.
yeah?
Definitely a big lack of investment, man. Man, I just don't know. I just don't know what will become of the music industry in Guyana. I don't know. The entertainment industry, the creative. What I can say, and I can say this honestly, is that the government of Guyana has jumped on board to work with artists, work with creatives to do so much because they recognize that the president of Guyana, he is such a creative himself. He loved the new generation coming out with stuff and everything, but he can't do it by himself. Yes, he's the president, but if he don't have the people behind him saying, yes, we're gonna support our Guyanese, the president can put you on platforms, but the people needs to jump on board. And if the people can do that, I personally think, give it a year or two, we would be booming, man. It's a fight, man.
Where do you, if you're comfortable talking about it?
I'm comfortable.
Wait,
We talk about anything, man.
So the thing that everybody's talking about right now, obviously, is this huge, giant oil discovery. It's one of the biggest oil finds ever, right? And I always am curious to like talk to like other Guyanese people about it because I don't know anything about it. All I know from my honest perspective and my view is that I know there's a shit ton of oil. I know that Exxon's involved, and I know that they have a deal. Apparently, it's not the greatest deal, but there's a deal somewhere there. And every time I talk to Guyanese people, like especially the older generation, man, like they're always like so like, oh well, you're gonna see, we have the oil now, we have it. Guyana's gonna be the next biggest thing, the next biggest is and like a lot of people that I speak to down there, they're like, yeah, like there's all this hope and hype right now. And I'm always really interested to talk to people about their thoughts on it because I'm like, do you genuinely feel that it is something that will propel the country as a whole to being finally this developed, having everything that we need to have to finally go to that next level as a country? Or is it something where the wealth is going to be there, but it's only going to be captured in the hands of like a few, and we're just going to have to kind of wait and see how and if at all that trickles down to society and the everyday working day people, you know what I mean? Or will it just be like foreign investors come in and reap the most of it? Like I'm always so curious to talk to people about like what they think the future is for Guyana, and that's
Guyana. Well, you know, if there's anybody that has not been to Guyana in the past 5, 6 years, and then you go to Guyana, if you have not said to yourself, wow, what an upgrade, you're a liar. You're lying to yourself. Guyana has been upgraded like big time. The way that Guyana looks now, back then, Guyana has not looked like that. Guyana have 3-lane roads. Guyana have beautiful highways. Guyana have infrastructure. Guyana have skyscrapers going up in Guyana, 5-star hotels, so many things that was never there is there now. And stuff like that would never be there if it was not for proper leadership. Is everything perfect? No. There is no way in any country that everything is perfect. Everything is going to take time. And if you feel that this is just going to change overnight or whatever, you're a fool to think that. Everything takes time. There is no government that's going to go in that's going to fulfill the needs of every citizen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in my lifetime or your lifetime. It's not going to happen in no country. Because why? There's no one government could ever satisfy everybody. We're all different. We all have our own independent values, thinking, morals. But whichever government goes into power, I guess they try their best to do what they can do with whatever resources they have. What I'm going to say, I think Guyana has evolved. When it comes to oil money, I do not know nothing about oil money. I would say, I do think a lot of the oil money goes into upgrading Guyana, which I have seen. There are roads and there are places in Guyana that when I go back there, I'm like, wow. Wow. Is the government doing every single thing right? No. Is the government fulfilling everybody's needs? No. It's virtually impossible to do. But is the government trying their best and doing as much as they could? Yes. That's what I'll say. And if you're not honest enough to say that, then you know to yourself you're wrong. The president is a man of action. The president is a man of making sure that he puts in 100%. If he don't get 100% and he gets 90, he's gonna be satisfied, but he's gonna still be gunning for that 10%. And you have to give the man props for that. You know what I mean? A lot of people know to themselves that a lot of things that were not happening is happening now. That's the bottom line. And to me, as long as there's a start, it's good. A start is better than no start, man. You know? So I think Guyana is revolutionary. Yo, we have Hilton that's going to Guyana. We have this. Those things never happen. When have you ever heard a 5-star hotel bidding to go to Guyana? JetBlue, American Airlines, all of those people want to go into Guyana. Why? Things have to be going. Things have to be happening. So come on. I think we need a chance, man. People need to open their mind and be honest, and so many things can happen. Is everything gonna be peachy? No, but there's nothing perfect about no country, about no avenue in any country, anything to do with politics, wherever. There's nothing that's perfect, and it's not going to be. But we make whatever little we have work, and that's what I'm happy about. Whatever the government have and they're making it work as best as they can. That's it.
No, that's really well said, bro. And it's true. It's like the last time I went to Guyana was 2022. And I remember just going and just seeing how different it was, even just from 2019.
You see
bro.
that?
Like,
You could have tell how different it was,
no,
right?
there's buildings going up, there's construction all over Georgetown. This one, but even seeing like I did just a drive, like a little tour just through like Demerara Estates, and I'm like, bro, like this looks like Florida right now. I was like,
Nice, right?
The homes, the sidewalks, how modern everything is. The only thing I'm just kind of worried about is just like the water levels in Georgetown. I'm always worried, like if
If it's gonna,
yeah, because I have family that lives there, and they're like, bro, like every
it's
year,
crazy,
like,
right? Yeah, it's getting
more
it's
and more
rising.
water, but
I think they're
you know.
making provisions for that and
yeah,
whatnot.
I mean they have to.
They have,
Or else,
man.
yeah.
I think everything is gonna be okay, man. Are we
Yeah.
are we gonna see everything happen in our lifetime? I don't think so, because it's so much to do, and there's always so much to do.
I think for our countrymen, given the history that we've had, and I do like what you said, is like you're right, like 100%, like we need a chance, like you know what I mean, like like really and truly,
Man.
like when you think about all that the country has been through from the beginning of the colonial times to now, it's so much.
It's a lot.
It's
man.
a lot, man.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot of. It's been a lot of fight down, a lot of trauma, a lot
but
of.
you know,
know.
what? At least we can say that we have put in our 2 cents in getting it there. You know what I mean? We have tried. You know what I mean? So nobody cannot say that. Ah, man, yeah, man, the world is rich, man. This guy have a platform, and he never did this to a Guyanese person, or we never do, because that's what we tend to do. You know that we tend to be like, hey, this person is from. This person have this going on BT or whatever, and they never even say let a Guyanese person do this once or do this. So I've noticed a lot of Guyanese people are like, okay, let me give my own people a chance and see what happens. So they can't say nothing because you've invited me on your program, and yo, this is the longest I've ever. I love podcasts now, bro. We could just have a good time, and you chop it up, you do whatever you have to do, but it's up to us as a people to come together. A lot of people just don't respect the motto. You know that? Think about it. One people, one nation, one destiny. If we can really come together as a collective, cut out all the racial bullshit, the political bullshit, and actually give our people a chance together. You don't care. Look at this guy that is a boxer. What is his name? This Indian guy that boxes in Queens. Yo, the man don't even have the support of Guyanese people really saying, let's rally around this guy. And this man is a good boxer. So you think about it now. You're a boxer. You're representing Guyana. You're coming out, and your own Guyanese people, you're winning fights, and they're not even. You're like, man. But a lot of people think that don't mean nothing. Oh, he winning, he getting money. But no, that support is needed. I'm pretty sure when you do your videos and everything, when you look through the comments, you feel nice to see a couple Guyana flags, and it's just like, yeah, but for some reason to them, they think it means nothing. We need to get back to the time that we let people be like, yo, it means a lot. We have representation. They take it for granted, man. They take it for granted.
Yeah, I think, and the thing is like I was telling you, is like there's 100% a need and a want for it, right? It's just a matter of providing it and providing it in a way where, and it will depend on where you go. Like I think Queens especially is a place where, like, bro, they need it, and there are people here who know that they need it and they will come out and show up. But then there are other people who are like, they need it and they don't even know that they need it. And what I mean by that is, let's say you do your show and you know that there are Guyanese people here in Queens that are like, yo, I'm going out for the Guyana show. Why? Because we finally have something for us, right? And I'm going to go out, I'm going to buy a ticket, I'm going to bring my friends, and we're going to go out and we're going to support, we're going to have a good time, right? The first one that you do, you know you're going to get that pocket. And that's like a niche within a niche, right? Caribbean people already are a niche. Guyanese people are another niche. Then to get people that value and want it is an even smaller pocket of that. But then once you do it, right, you know that it exists. So once you have them, then other people outside are gonna see it and be like, "Yo, so and so told me that this show was really good and like 100% Guyana show," and they brought all the vibes, like all the vibes that we would have gotten in another show where it was, I'd say, mostly Trinity and that. We got all of that, but all the intention behind the show was for us. It wasn't done in in a way where it made us look bad, or it's not like they didn't invest in the production. No, they went all out to give us a proper show.
Sure.
Like and they feel the intention is there. What? Bro, people will come out. But they need some of a majority. You're gonna have a minority of them that are like, yo, I'm here no matter what. And then once you do it, the majority will then see it and be like, oh shit. Like, yo, I'm Guyanese. Other people told me this was amazing. They're telling me there's a show for me, and they went out, all right, cool, let me check this out. Boom. And then it grows. You plant the seed, and people here, bro, they need that seed, and they need that seed to be watered, bro. Trust me. I won't say like for the older generation, but I'm telling you, bro, I'm saying the younger people in this community in Queens, bro, young Guyanese people, bro, they need to see it. And again, like the mature ones will voice it on TikTok. I see young Guyanese kids on TikTok, bro, I see a girl, bro, make a poem. And I almost cried when I saw it. This girl was maybe like 15. She wrote a poem about how like our ancestors were taken and brought to Guyana and forced to work on sugarcane plantations to benefit, and how we have tried to now build a life for ourselves in the remnants of that, and how we are. And she wrote a whole emotional poem about it, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. This girl's 15 doing this, like, and like she's conscious of wanting that culture. You know what I mean? So I think there is definitely that opportunity here for you, bro. And I think,
Bro,
and if not for you, then maybe you will inspire the next person to do it.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I want to be. I really want to be one of the persons as an architect.
And that's not to say that you already haven't inspired, because I mean, I sit here with you. I am inspired by you. There are so many people who say I am a Guyanese, and all your songs, TikTok, but everything, Mr. DJ, bro.
I've been hungry for it, like to have an event and shows and a tour formulated, and we take it, and just let it spread. Let people be aware of it. You know what I mean? I think that would make me say, yes, I've done something. And I honestly, I told Terry about this weekend, because the crowd in Minnesota was so wow. I said, Terry, we need to go on tour together, bro. It would be amazing, man. And Terry is such a humble and down to earth guy. He was like, man, let's do it. We need to sit and we need to put a production together. And then I think as long as we start and we feel that energy for the start, we're going to bring it for every place. And then that is going to be the blueprint for others to be like, yo, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Bob, I think so, for some reason. I think other people have tried it in Guyana. I know for a fact Jomo has tried it. Vicardi has tried it. I don't know if maybe people are waiting for a legend like Terry to have an input in it, because they think genuinely he deserves it. I think genuinely he deserves it, because I think there's no other artist, other Guyanese artist has done more shows than this man, has paid his dues more than this man to make this happen. And it would be an absolute honor for me to share the stage and share a show 2.5 hours, 2 hours, whatever, with this man. And at the end of the day, people said, yo, you guys have done it. And we can make it grow and make other artists be a part of it and be inspired by it. Man, that would be a dream come true for me, man.
Well, here's the really, and this is the really nice thing about it, man, is that I feel like just between, like you and myself, it's like we know we have all the resources to do it. It's like I know people in production who could put the whole thing in terms of all the technical stuff, stage, lighting, this, that will go all out for something.
That's
like
what
this.
we need.
You know
That's
what I mean?
That's
I
what
know
we
people
need.
who could do
Are
it.
you know what? You know, sometimes it's as much easier as we think, because we as creative tend to overthink sometimes. And there's people like yourself, because man, for some reason I think that you're such a cool person, man. Somebody would be stressing and you'd be like, yo, no, just do this, man. Just do that. And bro, don't take that talent that you have for granted, because in this industry it's needed.
Thank you, bro.
When somebody would be stressful for something they have, to be like, nah, man, just pull this out. That's it, it's done. I might be thinking that, man, this might be so hard to do. And you would be like, no, Adrian, let's call this person. Let's do this. Let's do that. And lo and behold, you may be the person to say, yo, let's sit down as a collective.
Yeah.
And let's start our first production here. And it grows. And before you know it, your boy he would be like, yo, I don't think you know what you've done, but you have started your own stuff. And that's how it happens. It just takes a bunch of collectives to say, yo, it's time.
Yeah.
Let's make this happen.
I think it's something, that's something that I would absolutely love to do and be a part of. And we could totally sit down and talk about it, because I would love to.
You know what? And yeah. I would rather it sooner than later.
Yeah.
I have the idea. I want us to make it happen.
Yeah.
Myself, Terry Godraj, a few other artists. First production. I love Queens. I love Queens. And we make it happen. People come, they see the lights, but they be like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think the really nice thing about it, aside from just the production, and this is the part where I would love to like consult with you guys and be a part of it, is like going a little bit deeper in terms of the experience, because I feel like one of the things that's really lacking, not just when it comes to Guyanese events, but Caribbean events in New York in general, is that there's no intention and there's no curation of an experience anymore. It's like everybody just come, the bar's there, go buy your drinks, the bottles are this much, and the stage is there, done. There's no thinking like, okay, maybe we should go a little bit deeper. Like especially for Guyanese people, we can think about like, how do we actually get them to feel what we want them to feel, which is proud of being here, and how do we get them to understand and feel the culture just even 5% more than they would have had they gone somewhere else. Maybe we could do all that through the vendors that we choose for food. Maybe it's the way that we hire people to welcome them when they come in. Maybe it's something that we give them as a souvenir to walk away like, hey, take this, remember why you're here today. You know what I mean? The people that the customer service people who are interacting with them, how are they treating them? How are they interacting with all this? These are all like little things that I think about, that I see that there's like a lack of when I go to events. And I'm like even if you think about it, like when you go to Guyana, like what are some of the key iconic places? Like for me growing up as a kid, when I went, it was like, yo, Main Street, the lights, and how they did stuff. Like, what if we reconstructed a little bit of what that vibe is like? You know, like,
you know who you
cool
remind me of, bro?
like that,
you know
what I mean?
You know who you remind me of, bro? Do you know Shay? You know Shay? Marshall's manager.
Yeah.
You remind me so much of that. Yeah, I swear to God, you remind me so much of him, bro. Like, that's how he is. Yo, like, so when I send him a song, right, he would message me, right, and he would be like, Adrian, when you let a song out, don't think about the views, don't think about the comments, don't think about that. Think about what you're doing. You're doing this for your people. This man, when this man finished speaking to you, bro, this man would sell you water in a basket, bro. He is so like this man is like the average person do not understand what you want to do. So you are put here to let them understand it. You know what I mean? And I kid you not, bro. I swear the reason why Marshall is where he is because of Shay, bro. You have I'm sitting here and looking at you talk. You have that same vision and understanding. You might think that but bro, I'm telling you. Do you know most of the production and everything? It's Shay that and Marshall. So there is nothing that says that you, myself, and Terry, we cannot make this happen.
No, 100%.
I think we can.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And what we would do it in a way, at least for here, has never been seen or done before.
You know why? It's not about the show.
Correct.
It's about the experience.
It's about the experience.
You know what I mean?
And it's something that people won't understand until they go and they feel it. Exactly. And then afterwards, they're gonna be like, call a friend and, yo, you guys wouldn't believe what these guys did. They took my favorite childhood place that I went to when I was in Guyana and they brought a little piece of it here. And it was, what? Like, how they did it? You know what I mean? Like little things like that. I think because those are all the things I would have liked to have had as a kid growing up here, which I didn't.
Man, I think you have that discernment in you. Like you may not see it now, but I think you have that discernment in you, as Shay, to make something a reality. You see, I am scared as hell to do a show. I don't know if Terry is, but together we can put a 2-hour, 2.5 hour, whatever performance together, and whatever we are lacking, you're there to be like, yeah, we do this, because we just need a start. And when people see what they came to experience, they will be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This was not just a go get your drink or whatever. I am actually standing here. There's a piece of Berbice, a piece of Essequibo, a piece of, oh my God.
And bro, I have like, even in my mind already, I have a vision of how that decor and everything would look if we can get the resources to do it. You know what I mean? And you don't have to. It can start very small. You know, it doesn't necessarily need to.
That's what I'm saying.
Be a big.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Small, you know?
It can start. It can start as us looking at like 150 people, exactly. Whatever. Yeah. But for some reason, with the mentality you have of quality and everything, I think it will grow very fast. And the reason me saying that, Terry has done all over. Myself, I've done all over. When we're done with Queens, New York, wherever, there's so many other places we can go to grow. If we start in Queens, we go St. Martin, we go wherever, we grow it. But I think before we know it, we may have something on our hands that we cannot even control. We need to outsource. It's just a start, you know.
It's just a start, yeah. And again, like I understand from your perspective why it was a scary thing to do, but I also feel like the reason why it's scary is because I think for you guys, given your experiences, you've come from places where it's hard to get support. But really, all any good thing, especially an event, all it really takes, and even any artist who's made it, like Marshall or Kess or any artist you could think of, they all say the same thing in all their interviews, is that it was never only them. They had a team. And what did it take to have a team? It just took some like-minded individuals to come together and want to all collectively do something for a greater purpose than just money. And then it grew into a thing that made money, and then it grew. You know what I mean? But it didn't start like that. It started from love. You know? That's what I told you. It started from love.
Myself and Terry, I think we can do it. I want to do it, bro. I like I really, it's like a craving for me
Yeah.
to like really want to kick it off and start it this year. You know, I want us to do it. Even if we say, look, we want 150, 120 people to start it. I know to myself, if we start, it's gonna grow. That's what I know. So maybe this is the beginning, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like-minded. Maybe this is the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's make something happen, man.
Yeah,
I know we can.
I think we can, man. I think we
I
can.
know we can.
We can sit down. We can have a meeting together. With
We
Terry,
need
and
to.
We can,
We
and I will.
need to.
I will. After we get a vision idea, I can call my production guys and get their take on
We
it.
need to.
And bro, when I don't want to say it here on camera, but off camera, bro, I have like some sick ideas of like
But listen,
what I think would look really nice.
but listen, we need to put it into perspective because, listen, what better chance we have? We're not gonna live forever, bro. Now is the time. Let's get it done, and we can say, "Yo, we started this thing from a damn podcast, bro."
yeah.
Yo, look at Bill Gates and them. They started it from the basement. We started this shit from a podcast,
Yeah.
and look what it is today.
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere, man.
Yeah, bro.
So, wow, what a way to end, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
we started it from a podcast. I think we can. I think we need you on a team.
Yeah.
We're the entertainers on stage, visionary. We need it, man.
Yeah, no, I would love to. I would love to. be
I
part
think
of
the
it, bro.
Angels band would be a beautiful band.
So I was gonna say my only condition is that we must have a live band because I don't want to
The
have
Angels
a track
band.
show. Yeah.
I think, you know, and you see the idea I have. I love Queens. There's something about that. I think bro. All we need is a venue, the band, specific artists, visuals, production team. We can make it happen.
Yeah. There are a lot of things happening, bro. Not just with me or Adrian Dutchin and Terry Godjudge. It's you guys have spent years building a platform for yourselves and contributing to the culture. But I don't think it's just a coincidence that while you guys have spent your time doing all that, that Guyana's and booming right now and going to places, and that more people here in Queens are wanting to experience that and they just don't have a place to, and that this podcast is just so happened. This podcast has been around since 2016, but
Wow.
we stopped. Like I stopped doing it in like when 2019 came because
Man.
the Soca Analyst I didn't have the time, bro.
The time, but we
I
all,
didn't,
you know,
but-
we all go through our hardships, bro. We
No,
all go
it's
through our times.
100%. Like
We all-
me and my
do you-
co-host,
do
we
you know-
spoke about it.
Do you know how many times I've said to myself, I'm not doing music anymore because it's not it. I have a family to feed. It's not making me no money. I'm gonna just go into this business. I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna do just. I was a manager at Trans Global Long Island Transit. I worked for UPS. But like the music just kept man. It's just something that kept pulling me back. And I said to myself, if there's a time that I'm gonna just lay it all out there and say, if this don't work, it is what it is. I'll accept that. It will be now.
Well, here's the thing, man. I know you have goals and a vision for what you want to do as an artist and with your music. But I can tell you this honestly, bro. The work that I've seen you put in over the years, the people. I know people don't always tell you, may not always show you, but you are a leader, and for Guyana's art.
Try.
There is not trying. You are there's the music that you've made, the hits that you've released, and it's more than just music. Again, like you are helping Guyanese people find an identity for themselves, because it is something that we struggle with as a people. We don't know how to define ourselves, and you have helped with that. You and Terry both, and a lot of the artists. But I would say over the years, bro, like especially what you've done with I Am a Guyanese, it's like you've created a national anthem for an entire country. Because to me, that's what it is. Like the first time I heard it, You know, not to jump back, but just saying, the first time I saw I'm a Guyanese, you know what I originally thought it was? You know how I don't know if Trinidad still does, they don't do it as much anymore, but every year they would get a group of artists together, Marshall, Neval,
Yeah, I know what it is.
and they would
yeah.
do like a Republic Day anthem every year, a new song, and it would be fire, right?
Yeah.
And when I first saw that, I was like, oh shit, Guyana started doing like yearly, annual national anthems. And when I first saw that song, I was like, oh snap, like I'm so glad to see this. And then only now I'm like, you know what I mean, when I'm finding out, like, oh snap, no, you did this on your own. Like you did that. You created a national anthem for a country. The unofficial national anthem is what it was. Not just for a country, bro, but for people across the globe. And that is a very, very, very important milestone, bro. And I don't know if anybody else has ever told you that, but that is the way that I see you as an artist. I see the contributions that you have done, and I know that you've had a lot of challenges over the years, make or break challenges, but I am extremely proud of your resilience and that you still choose to show up for your people, even when they always haven't chosen to show up for you. And I think a lot of that stems from love.
I'm proud, bro. Listen, like I said, when I did I'm a Guyanese, I never expected people to even like the song. I didn't even like the song, but God is great, and if it's a song that meant to be for the people, I'm happy that I service the people, and I'm happy that it's there. I'm humbled, so thank you so much, man.
Of course, bro. Yeah, and that's only one song, by the way. There's many more before, and I know there's many more to come after this. You know, and I think of Adrian Dutchin as, like I said, as a leader in this space, and I think you're someone who is going to pioneer the culture forward. I remember just finding when I first started looking into soca music back when we first started this, like almost 10 years ago now. I remember sitting with my friend Kendricks. He's Haitian. He was the first person to start this whole thing with me, and we did a deep dive of like, yo, we went to like every country in the Caribbean that we could. Then we got to Guyana, and I remember finding the first person I found was Jumo, then it was you, then it was Tamika. Big Red,
Bro,
and
you know,
a couple others.
bro, you might be. I think you might be opening Pandora's box, and you do not even know. You might be digging up. Wow, you might be digging up the whole enchilada of everything.
Bro, I've tried
that
Kwasi. I used to listen to Kwasi Ace's songs too, and I was like,
Crazy
yo.
Ace.
Yeah.
But you might be digging up a whole Pandora's box of what may be the root and stem of a tour that is solidified to make it happen. And bro, wow, what an achievement that would be for you, because wow, I'm thinking about it now because
you could see it, right?
I can.
Yeah.
And the tour with myself and Terry may be the start of something that is revolutionary, and we might not know it.
Yeah.
But when it's done, people might be like, yo, because you know what? It started with me writing crazy. I'm a Guyanese TikTok, and I didn't even know. But maybe those were the seed that was planted. I don't know. But I do see us doing or starting something. I see it, bro.
So do you know the reason I say all that too is because a lot of things that I have seen when people try to do it here, and why, and it's because of the money, really and truly. I see people try to put on the show to get capitalized, and I use the word capitalize very intentionally because that's what it is. They try to capitalize on Guyanese people and get them to come out to the events and, you know, get the tickets and the money and the bottles and the drinks and all this stuff. And they do the absolute least with the production and with the experience. Why? Because the profit margin is way higher.
Way high. Yeah.
But your capital, it's not. And I did, and I've been to shows, big ones, big Guyanese, where I saw this and I was like, bro, I get it. You guys are in this to make money. At the end of the day, for people organizing, this is a business for you. But I'm like, for me as a consumer coming to this event to experience my culture, this is an embarrassment, and we need to do better. We need to do better. If you guys could just at least try this for one, even put aside a profit margin.
Let's be the one, bro.
And just try, like, actually give the people something,
an experience to remember,
like
to grasp and say yes,
bro. Even if it's not sustainable, let's say worst case scenario, we did it for a couple of years and it wasn't sustainable, and we're like, we did it, and yes, it's just financially not feasible to do it anymore. But at least we could say, yo, for those 5 years, but we made it about them.
But you know what? I personally feel Marshall does soca and dancing movements and everything.
When Marshall hands goes up, he already has it in his head how the lights
supposed to be
are supposed to react.
That's what I'm talking about.
When he comes on stage, like the Barclay show is a perfect example that I was a part of the production for that. The way that all the lights are supposed to be killed, and then it was the morning of the show. I went to the hotel and I got Ding Dong Ravers the Che called me. He's like, yo, I need you to go to the hotel. Marshall wants to get Ding Dong Ravers to record the opening for the show.
I'm telling you, bro.
All right, Barclay Center, are you ready? We went right there. He had that vision just that morning. Yo, we need to get this done. So I went, recorded it for him, sent it to him. Get to Barclays, bro. When I saw all those lights killed, and then you hear that bass,
because
in Raver's voice.
You know why?
You had the vision for it.
You know why? Because you take what you do seriously. You want to give the people an experience.
And I know we could do that.
And that is what
Yep.
I love. And that is why I believe this will work, because you're a person that you're not about the money and whatever. You're about the experience. And I think she is about the experience to Marshall.
He's very intentional.
So,
yeah.
baby, that is what myself and Terry need. And it's not only for us, but the money don't matter. It's for the culture, and it's for a starter.
It's for the culture, and I'm grateful, bro, to have you. I'm grateful that we were able to meet and have this discussion. I'm grateful you were able to come.
And this
I know you were a little dejected when you came, but I'm glad you're able to leave feeling inspired. You know what I mean?
Bro, this is amazing, because I'm actually seeing what can happen. I'm envisioning myself on that stage performing or whatever. Bro, I'm telling you,
this is all it took.
Shay and you, bro. And I'm telling you, I see, this man talk to me. This man always vibe with me. Adrian, you need to do this, that. Even the video that's out right now, he said, take out this scene, take out that, put out this, put out that. And I'm following this man because we do not know everything. And he's like, Adrian, you don't worry with YouTube views, you don't worry with nothing like that. This is something that we're building. And he's like, listen, do you understand what I'm telling you? Because the people that recognize you now, sending out this thing through Monk Records and everything, didn't recognize you before. And he sent me screenshots. People are like, who's this? Wow, this. And he says, that's my aim. And me now, I'm like, yo, but we really need to start getting our YouTube number up. And he don't care about that. He's like, the people and the audience that you're reaching now, you didn't reach these people before. But look at this happening in the group, the Monk group, everything. And I'm learning. I'm like, the things that I would not even look at, these people are looking at the little things like, hey, did you see that reggae, the top reggae 10 charts? They mentioned Adrian is the this, and I'm like, that's what you need, because you do not know everything. You need a team that, people don't understand a team.
That's what again, man. Every successful artist, every successful person I've seen, they've all said the same thing. They were all like, it was never. People think it's just me. I may be the face, but it's not me. There's a whole team.
It's a
of
team,
people.
man. You need a team.
Kessa's show.
Kess is a team. It's a
Summer
team.
Stage that we just did in Central Park. That's a whole team, bro.
That's a whole team.
You don't even see most of them.
No man is an island, bro. You need a team, but everybody gets their enjoyment seeing that
you
happen, man.
You see what you need in the team. That's very, very, very important. everybody needs to have the same value and the same intention. There's an understanding. There's a reason why Kessa's team, why those members are a part of their team, because they all have a common understanding of what the audience needs to experience, what Kess the band is as a brand, and the ultimate, obviously, thing of they all love this culture and this music, right? It's the same with Marshall, bro. Marshall is actually, he's had people come in and out of his team.
Of course.
Very cutthroat. He's had people
man.
be part of his team
Of
for
course.
years.
For years, yeah,
and then
man.
they lose the
the
many
vision,
reasons. They lose the
focus,
value.
the value.
And you're gone, bro. That's it.
It
You know what I mean?
happens. It
Yeah.
happens. And
Yeah.
telling you.
I think it'll be dope, bro.
Hey,
But
hey,
yo-
big up to the podcast. This is
Yeah,
the Bet
bro.
Podcast. Hey, and we actually drink on the whole
bottle of rum.
So big up, bro. Big up. Man, you're gonna have some editing to do, boy.
I got
Hey, do your thing, man.
Got it, bro. Don't worry about it. But before we end, bro, I just want to say thank you for being on. Let people know where they could find you. All that good stuff. Tell people where they can find your latest release, by the way, as well. Big up to you for the release with Monk Records as well.
Yeah,
so
man.
tell everybody where they need to go, where to find the new song. Everything.
Listen, just go to Instagram. I am Adrian Dutchin, and I am there, right there. I am Adrian Dutchin. The music is there. Type in on YouTube, Adrian Dutchin. You'll see everything come up. The Vivo, everything from Monk Records, everything for Adrian Dutchin, and you will have the experience until you have the experience. Hey, look out for great things happening this year. I personally see it happening myself, Terry Godraj, on tour, on stage, and it's the beginning of something that we never even thought possible. People, life is an experience, and hey, the world is rich, is an experience. So big up yourself and
Blessings, bro. No,
pull
I
up.
appreciate it. As always, thank you so much for listening. You can always find us at the Soca Analyst on YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcasts. This episode is very special to me. This one was very intentional where I wanted to do this one for, not just with Adrian, but also for Guyanese people as a whole. It's really important for us to love and support each other. So I hope you guys support us by sharing this podcast, because I know you're going to enjoy it. As always, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Big up and bless.
The Soca Analyst. Caribbean culture to the world. Subscribe now on YouTube, iTunes, Podcasts, and Google Play Music.